Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABC Amber Television Live, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas. The great state of Texas, talking about Houston precisely. It's always a privilege to come to you with updates on the Amazonian struggle for independence. It is always a privilege, ladies and gentlemen. And as we continue, I'd like you to quickly go ahead. If you are joining in by way of Facebook, go ahead and quickly hit your share button. Quickly hit your share button. We got so much to bring to you today, just so much to bring to you today. And I'd like us to go ahead and quickly hit your share button and let others join us as soon as they can. I'd like to welcome all of you who are tuning in from Ground Zero. God bless you all. And for those of you also joining from Ground One, talking about our refugees particularly, God bless you all, and may He continue to protect and lead all of you. Lead all of you. We have learned of some messengers of the colonial regime in French Cameroon, there on Ground One, trying to lure all of you back to that damn regime. Please remain awake and remain very vigilant, and take care. You discern who is telling you what. There is no going back. Where are you going back to? Do you still have a home? Do you still have a home back where they think you should return to? If they come and they want you to return to Ground Zero, tell them to put cash at least 25 millions in your hand, so you can go back. When you go back, you can rebuild your house. You can get a business to do, because that country cannot give you a job. Anything less than this, tell them you don't have anywhere to go to. They want you to go there. Let them go and rebuild your communities. Let them go and rebuild your communities. And you know they cannot rebuild your communities even if they promise you, because no communities will be built until there is a final settlement to this conflict, ladies and gentlemen. So please, thank you, Ground One, for joining, and for all of you in Europe, in Asia, in the USA, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, in South America, in China. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in again. If you are joining by way of Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button, and I will be right back. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying put out there. This is what we're going to be talking about today. We've got a very, very critical subject to bring to you today, talking about the court ruling in Buoy on Tuesday, and the future of this struggle, essentially. The future of this struggle, essentially. This is going to have so much to do with that. We also will be talking about the decision in Bali by the Buffaloes banning the Presbyterian Church in the local government area. We will also talk about school resumption, and a number of things. But I would like to start with some housekeeping. We also have a big panel that should be joining. It doesn't appear like I see all of them here, but whoever is here, we will move on with them. So not a big deal. Again, we got so much to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen, for today. And let's start right away No wasting of time. If need be, if there is time, I will come back at the end of the day and take your phone calls. I will come back at the end of the day, take your phone calls. But please go ahead, hit your share button. If you are watching by Facebook, go ahead, hit your share button quickly before I get to the main subject of the day. Now, Menchum County now, most of you know that Menchum drafted just last Saturday, and it was such a great draft. Drafting well over $94,000, sending a message to La République du Cameroon that Ambazonians, not in any county, will be tired funding this war. We have Fako, we have Meme, we have Momo, and which other county left? 4 counties are still left. Fako, Meme, Momo, and which one? One more. There are still 4 left. And then the 14th county. The 14th county, ladies and gentlemen, will be ABC Amber TV. That is what is coming up. So, but this alert that I call a scam alert is very, very critical. And if you get the message, please take it out there. You get the message, take it out there. We drafted Menchum County again last Saturday. It was such a great draft. Now, there is somebody out there. I understand this person supposed to be the former chair of Menchum County. This person out there that I'm referring the scam alert to, supposed to be the former chair of Menchum County. It has come to our attention that he is instructing people who want to pay their draft or redeem their draft to make the payment to the old Menchum County account that he ran privately. I am sending out this information as a warning. There is an official account out there for Menchum. And if you cannot find that Menchum official or LGA account or county account, LGA or county account, please redeem your Menchum draft with the National Treasury and indicate the LGA you are drafting for. Again, this is very, very important. It has come to our attention that the former Menchum executive that doesn't exist anymore, they are out there instructing people to redeem their Menchum draft in accounts that were operated privately or owned privately. Please, we are not asking or encouraging anybody to make Menchum draft payments to those personal accounts. There are accounts out there which I believe Menchum is circulating. The legitimate Menchum LGAs and county are circulating. But if you cannot lay hands on one, make a phone call to find out. Not to the old executive that is trying to play this scam, but please to the Menchum legitimate current present executive, or you make that payment to the National Treasury, Ambazonia National Treasury, and the National Treasury will then forward your payment to the legitimate Menchum LGAs or county. This is very, very critical. Please let this information circulate. Let this piece of alert circulate amongst Ambazonians. Do not make any Menchum County payment to private accounts of individuals who robbed Menchum County last year of draft funds. Pay it to the National Treasury. The National Treasury will then forward it to the county or to the LGAs. I hope you get that. Now, I'd like you, ladies and gentlemen, to take a look at this message. Before I get there, you find on my screen mother and family still in detention at Upstation Bamenda. Unfortunately, we didn't get that image, the image of that lady here available to bring to you. The lady that we have reported here, ABC News has also reported exclusively on the arrest of that lady and her family. They were arrested in Bamenda. I think precisely, is it in the Ngomgam? I think so. I may be wrong, but she was arrested with her family, taken up station Bamenda. She was actually picked up from her convenience store with some customers in there drinking. They were all gathered, bundled to upstation Bamenda for no reason. They are still being held there at the Bamenda. They called it Legion. You know, those colonial names, right? Colonial titles. Bamenda Legion. They are still being held there, incommunicado. And we just want to bring to the attention of every Ambazonian out there. That family is still up station in Bamenda. It is going to 3 weeks, or over 3 weeks actually now. They are still there. Again, they are still there. All right. Now, take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look and listen to General Ten Kobo.
All for one. One for all. One for all for one. Zambian Warriors. Expendable 100. Expendable 100. Forward never. Backward never. Backward never. Forward never. Today, me, Field Marshal Ten Kobo, alias Talk and Do, equals to Field Marshal Black Rapun. I do want to send this message to my people. One day they send my people where they hear them. Today, the 8th for number 9 month 2021. I dey send this message purposely for that places them where they talk say na school where military they guide them. Me, Field Marshal Ten Kobo, I talk and do. I dey go now for place where military they sit down. So any man, I mean say any man where person, the be for play where military they sit down. When I come for day, may no talk I die, no may no cry. No, so don't talk have. Yes, sir. When we will come for that Ekondo Titi, especially Ekondo Titi, ma tell on a military. When I talk so, I don't shoot me. When I gun fish shoot me. No one. When I gun to fish shoot me. No one. I don't hand them this. When I talk so, I don't shoot them. I don't hand them this so. Why the make up? When I talk so, I shoot me. But maybe I tell una, me, I don't prepare for una. I dey come for una. So then now, today, I dey come for una. More than prepare. I already know una program. Oh, for Thursday. Who the one come? But me, I go make una more una know say, me I will talk and do when I talk Martin I do am. When I tell when I belt for that Ekondo Titi, and two for the meme, for the road, this Kumba road. Any man when I military worker for the road, maybe prepare. Because Field Marshal Ten Kobo don't put your hand now for that road. No, so don't talk. Any man, if you come out Kumba, we have military, as you go down that court, that Fryan court, write your death sentence. We are settlement for hellfire, you go settle because as you come, you no go back. No, so don't talk. Yes, I tell you now, if you be military, tie Yambanja, because the war don't start. I don't come over for outside. When I talk Martin, I do am. No, no, so. Yes, I will never prepare. We don't prepare.
Don't prepare, sir.
Rugged.
I got you.
Okay, I'll see you now after. Because Field Marshal Ten Kobo don't put your hand now for that road. No, so don't talk. Yes, any man, if you come out Kumba, we have military, as you go down that court, that Fryan court, write your death sentence. We are settlement for hellfire, you go settle because as you come, you no go back. No, so don't talk. Yes, I tell you now, if you be military, tie Yambanja, because the war don't start. I don't come over for outside. When I talk Martin, I do am. No, no, so. Yes, I will never prepare. We don't prepare, sir.
Rugged. I got you.
Okay, I'll see you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was General Field Marshal Ten Kobo. Again, Field Marshal Ten Kobo passing out instructions for the people of Indian, precisely Ekondo Titi, Mundembe, and the rest of the communities out there. This is very, very important because you rarely find Field Marshal Ten Kobo coming out to put out a message, especially in video. And I think when you find him and his boys coming out in a video to declare these warnings, I think ye should be taken very, very seriously. Taken very, very seriously. And we hope that the people of Mundemba, the people of Ekondo Titi, and Indian in general get the message. Ladies and gentlemen, it can only get better. It can only get better, and we are warning. Now, you heard Field Marshal Ten Kobo talking about schools there in particular. Some people are thinking that, oh, you know, schools are going on in so many communities, and the IG is no longer interested in what happened in those schools. That is absolutely not the case. In fact, I will be coming to that a little bit later in this broadcast. The IG is not relaxing her policy concerning schools. In fact, I have an announcement to bring to you shortly. Schools will remain shut down, and the parents would have to use their discretion, and any school proprietor would have to use his or her discretion to open those schools depending on the security situation. But again, I will be coming to that very, very shortly. But let me take you to Bui, where the Bui Warriors have been carrying out some exploits in the recent days, especially yesterday. Before I comment on this, I would like to bring you an audio, a report that was sent specifically to ABC by General Hannock, who is the spokesperson for the Bui Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, you must have heard of the attacks that led to the demise of so many La République du Cameroon colonial soldiers in Bui yesterday. Now, I'd like you to get it from the Bui Warriors themselves, from their mouthpiece, General Hannock. Please stay put and listen to this report. Okay. Let me get this out.
Cinematographic picture of the two bloody battles, two bloody confrontations that took place here in Bui County of the northern zone of the Federal Republic of Amazonia between the Bui Warriors and the French Cameroon terrorist forces of occupation. In the early hours of this Wednesday, 8th September 2021, the apparently unsuspecting La République du Cameroon terrorist convoy fell into the ambush snare of the invincible Bui Warriors. The elite squad of the Bui Warriors, under the command of the dreaded General Viper, at the place called SOP in the local government area. An improvised explosive device detonated on target shattered a La République du Cameroon terrorist armored car beyond the base, destroying its human contents. This was followed immediately by a very, very brief but lethal battle that sent dozens of La République du Cameroon terrorist soldiers to the land of no reverse. Yes, the land of no reverse case. The blood, the unqualifiable amount of blood on the Kumbu-Bamina highway, precisely at this place called SOP, just about 2 kilometers away from Jakiri, the second town of Bui County, sent shockwaves and fear down the spines of any passersby. It is worth mentioning here, Secretaries, that this has been a very, very painful event to the French Cameroon government and French Cameroon military, because among those that fell in the battlefield, among the victims of the Bui Warriors ambush was a colonel. A colonel. And we are still to learn the name of this French Cameroon terrorist colonel, secretaries and televiewers of ABC television. On the return from Kumbo in the afternoon, sensing impending doom, the Republic of Cameroon terrorists were dropped from their armored cars to continue on foot. You can imagine, secretaries, how the moronic, dim-witted soldiers of French Cameroon still fell into a second ambush by our Bui Warriors, and in a lightning war that ensued, the number of the dead and the injured on the part of the Republic of Cameroon terrorist soldiers is incalculable. But not even one of our restoration fighters sustained even a minor injury in the 1 hour long battle. Our warriors, secretaries, televiewers of ABC television are not giving the ill-trained French Cameroon terrorist soldiers any breathing space here in Bui County. Anywhere they attempt to enter, they meet their Waterloo, and their movement has been highly inhibited here in Bui County. Our villagers, our civilian population can sleep at ease in the villages now. And from every indication from the stakes at the present moment, if French Cameroon terrorist soldiers continue to flow into Bui, it will be catastrophic on their side, as only few, if any, will succeed to leave Bui. For Bui has proven indeed to be a land of no return. General Hanok, Sop Jakiri, ABC Television.
Thank you, General Hanok. Ladies and gentlemen, again, that was the voice of General Hanok reporting from Bui, and I take note that he is the spokesperson. General Hanok is the spokesperson.
And televiewers of ABC television is General Hanok.
That was again General Hanok, ladies and gentlemen, reporting from Bui of an ambush. Two of them actually that took place yesterday in the Bui County, where French Cameroon colonial soldiers, invading soldiers, actually were taken by surprise, ambush by the Bui Warriors that you find on your screen. These guys in Bui, they continue to get us very, very proud. They continue to make us very, very proud. We are told the casualties may be many. The casualties from the incident yesterday in Bui, the casualties may be many. Their machines paralyzed, destroyed, and citizens are warned. Locals in the area are warned, remain vigilant, because you know what French Cameroon does when they are attacked and destroyed in this manner. They will come after you. They don't find you. They burn down your homes. They burn your properties. They burn your farmlands. So please, we encourage everybody in this community in Bui to remain very, very vigilant. Remain very, very vigilant. General Hanok, thank you, and all of you, Isubu out there, and the rest of the warriors. We are praying for you and hoping that God continues to protect you and give you wisdom and deliver you from the traps of the colonial enemies. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are making progress here. Now, let me move on to a very interesting subject, and then I will get to Bali. And then I will bring in my guest, Barrister Tim Mbesa, who is joining. I also have Bishop John Egiawan, who is also joining me. And I also have one of the executive from Bali, Nyonga, who will be speaking in regards to the the ban of the churches in Bali. But I will start with this one, ladies and gentlemen. I will start with this communique. I don't know whether many of you have seen it. This communique is coming in from Bamenda, as you find there in the screen. You see the title, Lawyers Association. Lawyers Association ban in Bamenda by the colonial divisional officer. Lawyers Association ban in Bamenda by the colonial divisional officer. You can actually find that ban there on the screen. I want to bring you, I want to read to you what that ban says actually. Let me get to it. Let me find out what that ban says. I think I had a copy here. All right. Now, this is what that ban is saying, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the ban is saying. The ban says, and I read, this is coming from, again, the colonial divisional officer for Bamenda, I think Bamenda 2. It says, mindful of decree number 2020/304 of 10th June 2020, appointing Mr. Nicholas Nkongo Manchang, executive officer, as divisional officer for Bamenda 2 subdivision, and considering the necessity of maintenance of law and order in Bamenda 2 subdivision, hereby decides as follows. Now I'm reading from the communique now, because you cannot read what you find there on the screen. And so it says, the divisional officer hereby declares as follows. Article 1, that with effect from the date of signature of the present decision, which was today, this was signed and circulated today, ladies and gentlemen, that with effect from the date of signature of the present decision, a certain group called Northwest Lawyers Association is hereby prohibited from holding any public meetings in Bamenda 2 subdivision. Of course, you know Bamenda, when they say Bamenda 2, they mean all of Mezam, ladies and gentlemen, because Bamenda 2 is essentially Bamenda in miniature, all of Bamenda, all of Mezam in miniature, I would say. That's where all the lawyers live. And then it continues. It says the motive, the reason for this ban is the said group is operating illegally and meeting undeclared, they say. Article 2 says that any group of persons who contravenes this order shall be punished in accordance with the provisions of the regulation in force. The brigade commander of Intarikun, the commissioner of the 3rd and 4th district police are each in their respective spheres of competence charged with a strict implementation of this decision. The present order shall be registered and communicated whenever and wherever necessary. Whenever and wherever necessary. Again, that is coming from the colonial divisional officer in Bamenda 2 today, ladies and gentlemen. And again, that statement bans the activities, any form of activities by lawyers in Bamenda indefinitely. Can you imagine the times, ladies and gentlemen? Can you imagine the times that a lawyer association will be banned? Now, but you see, I really don't blame the colonial officer there. I blame those lawyers. When this struggle began, the lawyers led the way. Those same lawyers led the way. The teachers followed and students followed. Then, colonial French Cameroon minister, I don't remember who it was, came out and said, when those lawyers are hungry, they will just go back to court. The prophecy came to pass. That prophecy came to pass. Those lawyers got hungry and went back to the court under the guise that, oh, they are arresting so many of our people. We need to go back to court and begin to defend them. That was the pretext the lawyers gave in returning to the court. I want to ask them today, how many of our people abducted, picked up by French Cameroon colonial terrorist soldiers have they been able to release from those their dungeons in Bamenda, in Buoy? How many of them? Instead, many of these lawyers, I didn't say all of them, but many of them continue to exploit the families of these detainees. In fact, I think a few months ago, I read the name of more than a dozen of lawyers who are going to the families of detainees, squeezing out millions out of them, in the guise of going to meet the Attorney General or the judge and paying him some money to free the detainees. And nobody has been freed. So I just do not blame the colonial divisional officer in Bamenda too. I blame the lawyers out there who think that the teachers can go through all the pain, students can go through all the pains, everybody else including traders can go through all the pains, but they can, they have a role to play. They have to defend the people, and they defend the people, and they free nobody. They free nobody. Sisiko and the rest, they are still in jail. BBC and the rest, they are still in jail. The Ndasi and the rest, they are still in jail. The jails in Buea are packed up and filled up without space for new recruits. The same thing in Bamenda. And we say we have lawyers. The other day, the other one bought shares to go and donate to those courts. Oh my. We do not blame the colonial officer in Bamenda. He is just doing what pleases them. He is telling the lawyers, you are nobodies. You are nobodies. I can tell you when you go to court and when you don't go to court. I can tell you when you have your meetings and when you can't have your meetings. It's a shame to those lawyers. And I hope that from today, those lawyers will learn a different. The teachers stay home, students stay home, going to 4 years and counting. 4 years and counting. Life has been going on. I expect that these lawyers from today, after you listen to me, from today, you will do something differently. You will do something different. All right, let me bring in Barrister Mbesa. I'm still coming to the Buoy case, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming to the Buoy case and some decision that we are taking here from the interim government in the days ahead. So please don't move anywhere. Let me bring in Barrister Mbesa, who is a senior barrister, has served that system for so many years, served the United Nations for so many years. Barrister Mbesa, please, stretch your hand. Your camera is right down. I need you to get it right up, please. Okay, a little more again, a little more, and centralize yourself, please. Centralize the camera there. Okay, that is good. I think that is looking good. Let me see here. Let me see here, ladies and gentlemen, what I can do. Okay. All right. So, Barrister Mbesa, I hope you have read this statement coming from this colonial official in Bamenda. But again, I am saying it in very strong terms here, that I really don't blame the colonial official. The lawyers brought us to where we are today. They started this and they walked away in the guise of going back to defend our people who were arrested. And as of today, you are one of those who have been spearheading the defense of our detainees in Yaoundé, in Buoy, in Bamenda. I don't know if there have been some results. Let us know, please. Go ahead and make your comments.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. And thank all the viewers. I say, before I go in, let us understand first what the deal is banning. This is the background. In Cameroon, there's one lawyers association, which they call the bar. It doesn't have regional branches, no. The bar is based in Yaoundé, and the executive officer for the bar is the bâtonnier or the president of the bar council. Where there are many lawyers in a particular town, that bâtonnier or the president of the bar can appoint a special representative of himself, of his office there. What is NOELA then? NOELA stands for Northwest Lawyers Association. It is a social organization. Late in the 1980s and early 90s, we tried to form a common law bar. It did not succeed. And as many lawyers came in, we decided to create social group for lawyers, essentially to deal with social issues within the bar in a particular town. Going to bury colleagues, going to marriages, and so on and so forth. And so out of that organogram, the first one that came up was FACLA, Faco Lawyers Association, which was very, very strong. It came up before any other one else, because there were so many lawyers in Faco. I was a member, I'm still a member. And so when they created it more than 20 years ago, they have been having presidents. The last president who was there was Stanislas Ajong, then Agunkong came in. That's how Agunkong got into the leadership of this struggle. And then you find there, after that, that is Buea, that's Faco alone. We have another one in Kuma, which they call Mela, because there's so many lawyers in Kuma. It's called Mela. That's how Eyembe got involved, because he was the president of the Kuma Lawyers Association. Then we have one in Mamfe. But in the whole Northwest, most of our conversion, Bamenda, he decided to create what they call NOELA. If NOELA had to be registered, would not be registered in Mr. Dio's office. No, because it's a regional organization. Would not even be registered in the divisional office, because it's a regional thing. It should have been registered, if at all it needed to be registered, it be registered in the governor's office at the very least. So I see all that as blowing hot air. What do you mean? What does it mean by Amanda 2? That they will not go to court? No, they cannot prevent the lawyers from going to court, because the national bar under which they all operate cannot be banned by a prefect, a super-prefect.
Barrister, they are not banned from going to court. They are not. They are banned from meeting as a group, which means, how about conversion at the court premises? How about that?
Because I'm trying to explain that, first, the court premises, which may be found in Bamenda 1 or Bamenda 2, are not under the control of Monsieur the Sous-Prefect. He cannot ban activities in the court. He doesn't have the competence. It's short and simple. He doesn't have the competence.
I think we all know that, though. We all know that he doesn't have the competence to ban a lawyer association. However, what redress do the lawyers have? Because if they were to go to court with the colonial official, which court are they going to? The same court over which the colonial official has jurisdiction, whether legally or illegally. They don't have a choice.
Now, the point I'm making is this. The duo's so-called ban has absolutely nothing to do with the professional activities of the lawyers. Absolutely zero. Because I've explained, they operate under the bar. All of them are members of the bar association, whose boss is the bâtonnier or the president, whose office is based in Yaoundé. It is created by law. They don't have branches. The bar association does not have branches, Kumba branch, Bamenda branch, Yaoundé branch. No, they don't have branches. So his so-called ban on the social activities of lawyers, which include, for example, going to a funeral for a friend who is dead, or going to a marriage for a friend who is getting married, or a burn house, or things like that. I don't know where the whole manifestation to the name of lawyer. They can sit there and debate about law, but make them effective. You have to take and carry it to the bar council, and the bar council will debate on it before transmitting it to the government. That's the rule, and that's what it is. So I think this guy is just trying to blow his trumpet beyond his reach. Again, what do you mean by ban in Bermuda 2? I think we remember there's something of the Bermuda 5 or whatever it is. So what does it mean by Bermuda 2? So people, lawyers, if a lawyer died in Bermuda 2, call him there. He died Bermuda Bali.
I think we're having some I think we're having some issues with your connection there. It's breaking. Go on, please.
I don't know where I was explaining. I don't know where you got me right there.
I got you. Yeah, I got everything.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I think this guy is just trying to blow his trumpet beyond his own reach. His activities, as per his decree of appointment, do not include regulating lawyers. I'm dealing with legal issues. Anybody can go out and put, just like we have this social media, anybody can put any nonsense there.
We agree with your legal argument. We agree with your legal argument. However, we are talking in a situation where the laws are not respected. It's a banana republic, essentially. I am putting the blame right now with what is happening on those lawyers, because you know, as I do, that they started this struggle. At a point in time, they said, well, you know, I think it makes sense. We should go back to the court so we can defend our people who are being picked up. They have been there doing that for close to 5 years. Every Amazonian picked up is still in detention. What do you now? How do you respond to them at this moment with this situation?
I think we should get this. The lawyers surely started the thing, but down the road, those lawyers who were in leadership having out. The president of Noela at the time when they started, that was Bob. Bob he dropped out because of his deals with this man in Camby there. So, and then Agwambala came from Fakla, from Faku lawyers. The agenda was essentially federalism. He has since dropped out. See, the revolution those area lawyers believed in. And they are no longer there. But is no longer there, to the best of my knowledge. Agwampongo is no longer there, to the best of my knowledge. Among them who were there at the time, the other person who is still there in prison is Iyembe, who came in as the president of the Meme lawyers. What should they do if I were in their position, if they needed advice? I will go to crush that order. We move the court to crush it. Then, Monsieur the Prefet, Monsieur the Prefet, whether they do or not, but that's a procedure. But again, the struggle, even to today, however, told us that they were going to render pro bono service to our lawyers. They are looking for money, the bulk of them. And so, to me, that is a known issue. If they want to fight it, they can fight it. We're not fighting the struggle. Yes. There are thousands of them. There are thousands of Buea, all those places. I've not seen them take to do with these issues. We have had lawyers.
All right. Barrister, you stay put. Let me get into this Buea sentencing issue, and I will get back to you and Bishop John to get your opinion on those sentences. So just stay put in the place. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to the main subject of this broadcast today, talking about the sentences that you all heard in Buoy. I mean, the sentences passed in Buoy 2 days ago. 2 days ago by the colonial administration. We understand that 10 people were arrested by the colonial officials and accused of masterminding the Kumba St. Teresa International School shootings in the October 2020, I think it was October 24, 2020, in which 7 children were killed in the shootings. Again, 10 people were picked up, held in detention. Now, the 10 people included the lady and the husband who are the owner of their schools, a number of teachers, including the principal of that school. They were among the 10. They were among the 10 who were subject to this clandestine military tribunal that held in Buea on Tuesday and passed this sentence by firing squad. So, out of 10, a number were acquitted. Those acquitted included the lady and the husband who are the owners of that school, and then I think the principal was also among them, among the acquitted. 4 others alone were given sentences. They will be locked up for a number of time. But let me also add that the owner of the school, the husband, and the principal, they were charged before acquittal. They were made to pay a fine of 50,000 francs each. Of course, that is chicken change, whatever that is meant for, I don't know. But before they were acquitted, they were made to pay 50,000 francs each before acquittal. 4 others were reprimanded. They will serve a sentence which I think they said is 5 years or something like that. But 4 others, which is the subject of this, were sentenced to death by firing squad. Again, they were sentenced to death by firing squad. I have not read the text coming out from that court. Some people are saying, where is it? Where is it? I don't think anybody has seen it. But we have seen it in their newspapers. Their newspapers have reported the facts of the matter and the ruling. And we have also seen rebuttals from the defense lawyers in that case come out to say the whole thing was a sham. The whole thing was a sham. Let me give you a little imagery of what sentencing to death by firing squad looks like, so you can really understand what is at play here. This is how it goes, and I had the privilege to witness this when I lived in Nigeria, practiced journalism in Nigeria during the time of the dictator Sani Abacha. This is what sentencing by firing squad looks like. And if you have watched some of the movies, Idi Amin, the rise and the fall of Idi Amin, you may have also seen some of it. This is what sentencing by firing squad looks like. They come to your jail once the sentencing is done, as on Tuesday in Buoy. They come to your jail, they bundle all of you, they chain you to your backs, they chain your hands to your back, and they blindfold you. They drive you to the execution scene. If your executioner, the hangman as it is called in other words, if the hangman is good enough, he tells you to say your last prayer. And after saying your last prayer, you are directed and then fasten on an electric pole or on the provisioned poles that they may have planted, and again your hands are tied, fastened behind the pole with your face having a covering. Now, the reason for the covering is so that just for any reason you don't die, or you refuse to die by their gunshot. If you refuse to die, for no reason you should ever know who your executioner was. And that is also the reason why when they go out to execute people by firing squad, if you have, like in this case, 4 people to be executed, they will send out like 10 to 15 executioners, hangmen. Now they all line up, pointing their arsenals at you, fastened to the pole. Now again, this is done so that just in case you do not die by the bullet, you never should know who was the exact executioner who executed you. That is what they do. Now they bring you to the execution scene and they ask you if they are good enough to say your last prayers. After you say your last prayers, you are shot to death at gunpoint, and they make sure you are dead before they leave the scene with your remains. That is what is playing here in the atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen, with these sentencings coming out from Buea. I mean to say the clandestine sentences coming out from Buea. Let me explain to you why I refer to them as clandestine sentences. Number one, you do not try civilians in a military tribunal. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't happen in any civilized society. Never. That only happens under dictatorships. And that is what we are seeing in this case by French Cameroon officials. Number 2, these people were brought to court. They are judged by a constituted French Cameroon military citizens. No Ambazonian, no Southern Cameroonian. Go and read the name. I'm not making this up. I have read the report coming from that court, and I know exactly who was sitting on the bench. None of them, they are all the Ndongos and the Mongols and so on. None of them is Ambazonian. None of them is Ambazonian. That is why I call that thing a sham and a clandestine military tribunal. You do not come to Ambazonia and judge Ambazonian citizens using a foreign law, the civil law of La République du Cameroon. But even if it was common law, again, you do not take civilians to military tribunals when they had no guns, when they are not even the perpetrators of the act for which they are being charged with or condemned with. That is why I call it a clandestine court in Buea. And I'm going to tell you what we've got to do in the case of those courts in all of Ambazonia, and not just in Buea. So these people were sentenced to death by a firing squad. Of course, I know it is not going to happen. Not to the whims and caprices of La République du Cameroon officials, but to our own. And when I say our own, I mean what Ambazonians want. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean what Ambazonians want. It is not going to happen. Those people will not be killed. Let me say this. If any official in Cameroon has 2 balls or 3 balls, let them go and execute those people, and we will know who rules Ambazonia, who is in charge of Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, I challenge them to execute those people. Forget about firing squad, even by poison. Execute them. The good thing is that we know their names. All of them, we know their names. In 2 months, in 3 months, in 4 months, we don't find them. Their case won't be like the case of Zirwazizi, the journalist, who was picked up, and before we knew it, he had been killed. This is not going to be one of those cases anymore. Not at all. Again, it is not going to be one of those cases. We are watching, and I challenge La République du Cameroon. If your leaders have 3 balls, please execute those people by any way, not just by firing squad. Execute them and let us see. So, but before I get there, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conviction. Now, when we are fighting this war and trying to convince every southern Cameroonian out there that these people are not brothers, these people are not friends, they are not even good neighbors. Some people say, what do you mean? We can fix it. We can resolve it. You hear the Agbo-Balas telling people, we can still fix it. You hear the Monzoos. You hear all these federalists telling people, we can still fix it. We can still live together. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know the reason for which we are fighting, the reason for which we are at war, let events like this reveal to you why we are in this war fighting, and the reason why we are not going to compromise, the reason why we will not look back, the reason why until we get back our own country as existed in 1961, we will not give up. Absolutely, it is not possible. Now let me bring you some instances here of injustice. Forget about whatever we have mentioned in the past. We have seen how many hundreds of Amazonians, the French Cameroon military colonial invading soldiers, have killed in our territory. Of course, many of them, they denied responsibility. But some, they have been courageous enough to step out to acknowledge responsibility. They acknowledge responsibility in the case of Samsoya, when they were caught red-handed with their soldiers literally slaughtering into pieces Samsoya. They couldn't escape it. They acknowledge it. Now, what about the case of Ingarebo? The case of Ingarebo, ladies and gentlemen. French Cameroon came out and said, no, our soldiers did not do it. Our soldiers did not do it. But when the heat became so hot, they came out and confessed that their soldiers indeed carried out the massacre in Ingarebo. They actually named the names of those who carried it out. And then they said they have taken them to the military court in Yaoundé. Now, Ingarebo happened before Kumba, ladies and gentlemen. Ingarebo, the massacre in Ingarebo took place before the incident in Kumba. In Kumba, you have 7 students killed by French Cameroon soldiers. But they are judging and sentencing by firing squad Amazonians. 7 students. In Ingarebo, close to 40 people, 40 Amazonians, ladies and gentlemen, are slaughtered on their beds early in the morning. In La République du Cameroon says, we got the perpetrators. They are our soldiers. Our soldiers, in fact, indeed, killed them. They are going to face the law. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to French Cameroon soldiers, which they have acknowledged, killed, caused the massacre in Ingarebo? What happened to them? What happened to them? They are walking free in that damn country, in La République du Cameroon. But the incident that happened yesterday in Kumba, where just 7 people were killed, 4 people, because they are Amazonians, are sentenced to firing squad. They will die by shooting. And somebody says, these are people we have to live with. What happened? This is the moment. Everybody asks a lot of people to Cameroon, why have the ingullible perpetrators not been sentenced to firing squad? Why are they still walking free out there in that damn country and sleeping with their women and dining with their children and going to beer parlors and drinking and mocking and making provocative statements on Amazonians? Why are they still free? Why the Kumba incident has attracted a firing squad? Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. This is what came out from the court. This is what came out from the court. Victim number 1, we don't know so much about victim number 4, but victim number 1 said, when he was picked up, he had just returned from Douala, where he had escaped from Kumba, moved to Douala to avoid the war. He had returned to Kumba that day to pick up his belongings to rejoin his family in Douala. But French Cameroon soldiers picked him up, and today he is being sentenced to death by firing squad. That was the first victim. The second victim said, and they said this in the court, they said he had stepped out to buy medications in the pharmacy around the Fiango area in Kumba, to buy medication for one of his daughters who was sick. And he got out in Fiango, they picked him on the street, took him to prison, and now he is sentenced to death by a firing squad as the person who caused the shootings or perpetrated the shootings in Kumba. The third person also says he is a farmer, a mere farmer. He had left his house that morning going to farm. Ladies and gentlemen, he had left home that morning going to farm. Unfortunately, they picked him up. And they took him to Buoy, and he's been there forever. He is now sentenced to death again by firing squad. This is what is going on. A lot of people to Cameroon is so zealous, ladies and gentlemen, to show the world that finally we are carrying out judgment on those who carried out the Kumba massacre. You see, they want the world to believe they are acting, they are doing something to stem out this kind of barbarism and brutal attacks on the innocent people. But they are not also paying the same attention, doing the same thing. A lot of people, Cameroon soldiers went to Bafut and killed, who was that? Killed a civilian, severed the head, cut off the head, and pinned it on the tree. Where are the perpetrators? They are still walking free. How about Mami Api, killed by French Cameroon soldiers whom they acknowledge? Those soldiers, perpetrators, are still walking free. How about the killings by French Cameroon soldiers in Pinin? The massacre in Pinin, in Mautu, in Moyoka, Ekona, in Bali. Where are the perpetrators that we all know are French Cameroon citizens? They all are still walking free. They are all still walking free. But they pick up innocent citizens. Again, they pick up innocent citizens on the streets of Kumba. One a farmer, the other one coming from Douala to get his belongings to return there. Another one just walking to go to the pharmacy to buy medication for the child. They are all picked up and they are put in the dungeons, including the proprietress and the husband and the principal of that school. Look at that. Now let me come to this, ladies and gentlemen, before I bring you some pronouncements coming from this interim government. Now, I really hope that with these injustices, some of you out there, especially those of you who call yourself federalists, you understand why we are at war. I just brought to you a statement coming from Bamenda where The colonial officer in Bamenda is banning the Lawyers Association in that city. They cannot gather together. They don't have the liberty to come together as a professional group. You see what is happening in Buea. Now, let me say this. If you ever think that we can go back to live with La République du Cameroon as a free people or freer people, let me put it this way, you make a big mistake. If you ever think that we can go back to La République du Cameroon, live with them as a freer people, as some people are in the habit of suggesting we can just come together and still fix this, you fool yourself. If La République du Cameroon is still doing this in the midst of conflict, in the midst of war that came out of same treatment, what do you think they're gonna do when we say, okay, let's forget about this problem, let's just come and sit down on the table and see how we can make things to work? And by the way, where are our houses of chiefs, our chief council? Where are they? Where is the regional councils? Where are they? Where is the so-called multiculturalism commission and so on? Where is it? Where are all these window dressing structures that they set up to kind of let Anglophones, as they call it, believe that finally they are beginning to address Anglophone issues? Where are all those structures in this sentencing? Where is it? They are nowhere to be seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will have to fight, as we say all the time, till the last man standing. We will have to fight till the last man standing. They are showing us their true colors on a daily basis. Remember, in spite of our outcry, University of Buoy is already in Akonolinga, and that professor, Horace Ngomo, is still sitting in Buea. Something has to be done. I think they took us for jokers, ladies and gentlemen. They take us for jokers. I don't see how we can sit here saying this and anything is still functioning in Buea. It cannot happen. It should not happen. It must not happen. Everything must be shut down. Let them for once take us serious. Let them for once take us serious. We are still in the midst of war. A war provoked by their injustices against us. And they have just continued solo with it, ladies and gentlemen. Is it not, if it is not mockery, what do you call it? What do you call it? What name do you give for it? If it is not mockery and continuous provocation, we are going to be the worst slaves on earth if we are stupid to think that we can surrender and turn back and live with La République du Cameroon. The apartheid in that country will be worse than what took place in South Africa. It will be worse than slavery in London and slavery in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you are fighting for your freedom and you are still receiving this kind of treatment, this level of injustice, then you know what you receive. Your homes will be taken from you and you will have no court to go to. Your lands are being taken from you even as I speak, and you have no court to go to. The governor of the southern zone, Bernard Okalia, is using people in Victoria. I have the names. One of these days, I'm coming back to name the name of the people. There's a guy in Victoria that Bernard Okalia is using to grab people's land in Fako and sell and put money in his pocket. I have those names. I am coming out with them. If they are snatching your lands, snatching your property in the midst of a war of injustice and colonialism, what do you think they're going to do when you succumb? and fold your tail within your legs and walk back to them and say, let's talk. Let's talk coexistence. Let's talk living together. What do you think is going to happen? For those of you who think that we can still talk, we can still discuss, we can talk confederation, we can talk federation, what do you think will happen? They will give you anything today and they will take it tomorrow. They will take it tomorrow. So ladies and gentlemen, there is no turning back. I want to appeal to every Ambazonian, especially those of you who have been standing, having your legs on both sides of this bargain. You cannot stay on that other side and on this side. You cannot have your legs both ways. You have to choose the freedom of your people. And to all those lawyers, Ambazonian lawyers, who thought they were going to court to save Ambazonia and save Ambazonians, you are now seeing it for yourself in your face. In your face, your people have been sentenced to die by firing squad. What are you going to do? Take an appeal? Before which court? Which court are you going to take an appeal? The same court, the same system, civil law. They are all clandestine courts, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing, if you are a learned lawyer as you want us to believe you are, again, if you are a learned lawyer as you want us to believe you are, tell the public, speak truth to power in the Republic of Cameroon. You guys must stay out of every court in Ambazonia. The lawyers, I received a message today from somebody in Kondenge who said to me, the lawyers are very upset with me with an audio message that I put out the other day. They think I am commanding them. No, sirs, I'm not commanding you. I am just speaking the truth to you. If you are not as angry as every Ambazonian listening to this news coming from Buea, then you are all so out and blacklegs lawyers. You are not supposed to be in court. You are supposed to be where the teachers are. You are supposed to be standing in solidarity with every Ambazonian. Those who have lost their property, those who have lost family, those children who cannot go to school, ladies and gentlemen, you were supposed to be standing with them. You pandered to a lot of people to Cameroon cronies, went back to court as it was said before, and now some of you are grumbling now. Some of you are grumbling now. But ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. This is what is going to happen. This is what is going to happen, and this interim government is going to do this, enforce this. A meeting will be coming up in a few days. And the interim government will be announcing some of the decisions and giving details of the information I bring to you now. But I have to bring this information to you now, especially if you are on ground zero to start preparations. Please listen to me carefully. I am bringing you this information so that you can begin preparations immediately. Immediately, beginning today, start preparations. Again, the interim government will be having a security meeting and they will arrive at some decisions, and some of those decisions will include the shutting down of every colonial court in all of Ambazonia, not just in Buea, but in all of Ambazonia. Every colonial court will be shut down. Every colonial. Now you understand we don't have common law courts in Ambazonia. I guess you know that. All their attorney generals. In fact, you go to a court, any court in Ambazonia, you don't hear the word attorney general. You hear the word procureur general. Procureur general. In every court, in my village, in my town, in Minji, where nobody understands a thing in French, it is a procureur general who is the attorney general there, ladies and gentlemen. So, I think we are done with all these colonial vestiges in so-called courts. We are from today reminding all the judges, all the clerks, all the lawyers, the courts will be shut down in the days to come. I am not shutting them down right now, But I am passing out this information. We will come later with details of what will happen. But listen, the courts will be shut down whether they like it or not. We are going to show them we control our territory, we control Amazonia, and I just don't understand why even by now, after 4 years, those courts are still there, sentencing our people and sending them to eternal imprisonments. I don't know why those courts were left to be there. They should have been raised down. They should have been raised down, ladies and gentlemen. So, but that is coming. That is coming. That is coming. Every court in Amazonia, be it a lower court or a higher court, will be shut down indefinitely. Number two, listen to me. Listen to me. Number two, all schools in Amazonia will be shut down. Will be shut down. Now, I am not contradicting the position of this interim government. The interim government has said the decision for anybody to open, a proprietor to open his or her school, depends on them. And the decision for a parent to send a child to school depends on them. As far as the security situation is concerned, it depends on them. But in the days ahead, ladies and gentlemen, we will shut down every school. Every school will be shut down. Now, this is very, very important. Take this seriously. We do not have the plan yet because I said this will be discussed. We will come back with the details. But we want every parent to start preparing now. Start withdrawing your children from any boarding school. Again, begin to withdraw your children from any boarding school. We will shut down those boarding schools, ladies and gentlemen. And every other school that opens its doors, the schools will be shut down very, very soon. I will come back to you possibly before the week is over or early next week to bring you details of this plan. The courts will all go. The schools will all be shut down until when we are sure there is security for you to go back to school. They will all be shut down. Then every major highway in Amazonia, linking Amazonia, will be shut down in the days ahead. Every major highway, listen to me carefully, every major highway linking Amazonia, be it in the south or in the north, those roads will be shut down. I am not talking about Bali Road. I am talking about all of Amazonia. Those roads will be shut down, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the schools will be down, the courts will be down, and all the highways will be down. If you are a university student or lecturer, you are not excluded. The universities in Buoy, in Bamenda, they will all be shut down. If you are a student there, look for where to go. Go and sit somewhere, protect yourself, avoid being a victim of any incident. It is not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. I call it a storm. Again, I call it a storm. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. We cannot, ladies and gentlemen, just sit and fold our hands every day and see French Cameroon continue these provocations on us and on our people. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Whether they prosecute, whether they fire those people in Buea, those 4 people sentenced or not, this will happen. Again, whether they kill them or not, this will happen. I think our Tunisia has come. Our Tunisia has come. Our Egypt Square, Tariq Square has come. Ladies and gentlemen, we must tell our population to Cameroon, we no longer expect their presence in any form in our territory. All the highways are shut down. Start preparing. Again, I am bringing you this information now without specifics because we want you people not to say that the interim government acted irresponsibly by not pre-informing you. We are bringing you this information so you begin to prepare. The details will come up early, possibly on Monday. So please start withdrawing. If you have to go to any, if you are in Bafusam, you have to go back to Bamenda, do. If you are in Douala, you have to go back to the Southern Zone, do. You have to go back to Buea, to Victoria, to Kumba, do. Leave before the day comes. If you are anywhere where there is a major road highway concern, please get back to your permanent destination before those roads are shut down. And ladies and gentlemen, this will be indefinitely. This is going to be indefinitely. Indefinitely doesn't mean forever. It means until we are able to revisit the situation given certain circumstances. So that is what lies ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I bring this information to you so that you know this. But let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. This matter is it's a painful one. It's very, very painful, very, very provocative. We did not choose this war. Our teachers tried to negotiate an amicable settlement. They were scorned and rejected, and they were tried to be bribed. A lot of people tried to bribe them. They gave Tassan Wilfred, was it 500 million? And he said, no, he wouldn't take it. In this current dispensation, with all these other group leaders, they have tried to bribe our leaders individually. They have invited Dr. Sako to, secret meetings so that they can meet with him one-on-one. So that they can corrupt him. They invited him to meetings in Ghana, just one-on-one, so that they can corrupt him. They have invited certain leaders in this struggle to one-on-one meetings. The colonial PM, what is his name? Dion Ngute, has reached out to meet with some people one-on-one so that they can corrupt them. I remember there was last year, they called me and said, we'd like to meet with you and Dr. Sako. The meeting will be in Texas. We'll just have just a few of you. We said, oh, you want us to come and we will sit together and we think that there are no cameras, and then before we know, who did? Eli Smith did that. They will come and you will sit in a room and they will tell you no cameras. But you know what? They will wire the hotel and hang their cameras everywhere. And by the time you come out of that meeting, they will tell you everything is okay. It's just private. It's just within us. But before you know, the images will be in their media houses. They will be in their media houses. And they will say, we met with Chris Anu. We met with Dr. Sako. We met with this, with that. And you know, there are enablers out there, blacklegs out there, surrogates out there who will say, Sako has been paid. Anu has been paid. This person has been paid. You heard of the Swiss cheese, right? In fact, I was told that I got my own share of it, whereas I was never in Switzerland anyways. So, that is what a lot of public has been trying to do. Divide and conquer. They try to use money instead of saying, let us come to the table and resolve this conflict. The Swiss have been literally begging that a lot of people should come to the table. The separatists, as they call us, they are ready to sit down and talk. Please, a lot of people come to the table. That is what the Swiss have been telling them for the past 2 years. A lot of people prefers the bayonet. They prefer the weapons. They believe we were 2 cubes of sugar. They thought in 2 weeks the 2 cubes of sugar would have been dissolved. Unfortunately, they are not being dissolved. But this is the message. This is the message I bring to every French Cameroon fighter, French Cameroon soldier in Amazonia. Stop dying for old people in Yaoundé. Stop dying for people who are near their graves. Stop dying for them. What are you fighting for? Listen to Dieudonné Essomba. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to people like Dieudonné Essomba. Again, I am speaking to French Cameroon soldiers in Amazonia. I do not agree with the solution prescribed by Dieudonné Essomba, but he speaks a lot of sense. He doesn't see the need for this damn war. He speaks knowledge. He speaks sense to power. So, French Cameroon soldiers in Amazonia, listen to me, please. There is no reason you should die for a war fashioned out by old people. Look at the president of the assembly, old man ready to die. The Senate, old man ready to die. The presidency, old man ready to die. Look at all their ministers. They have been there forever, ready to die. What do you want to die for? Most of you are teenagers, in your 20s, in your 19s, and so on. You still have your life. You still have a future ahead of you. These old people have no longer any future. They are trying to use you to buy the future, to secure the future of their own children. Whereas if you die, your own children will have no future. What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Let me assure you, you can lay down your arms, and Amazonia will give you a free way of passage. We will let you escape either to Nigeria or to any. A lot of you are in Guinea, a lot of you are in Gabon, lots of you are in Benin Republic, lots of you are there in Nigeria, in Ghana, who have escaped. They laid down their arms because they didn't see the reason to fight this war. I am appealing to you. There is no way, and I mean no way, that you French Cameroon soldiers are going to declare victory in this war. I will say it, and I have said it before. It took Eritrea, I think 30 years or so. Southern Sudan, about 20 years. It took Somaliland, I think about 20 years too. It took time, but they got there, ladies and gentlemen. It took time, but they got there. Many people, and I mean Amazonians, came into this war thinking that it was going to be 1 year. It was going to be 2 years. And we will be in Buoy. Who fooled you that Perpetrators Cameroon was going to give up that easily when they live on us? Who fooled you so? Perpetrators wasn't going to give up that soon, because without us, they don't exist, ladies and gentlemen. Without Amazonia, the southern Cameroons, Perpetrators Cameroon doesn't exist. That is why they too will fight if they can, to their last soldier standing. But I just explained to those soldiers, you really do not have any reason at all to fight. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got the message. I still have a message on the ban of the Presbyterian churches in Bali. And let me go straight to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the ban of the churches in Bali. The ban of the churches in Bali by Grandpa in Bali, and the buffaloes in Bali. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, Grandpa of Bali, who is the general in charge of the buffaloes, AROF, Amazonia Restoration Fighters in Bali, came out with an edict that banned the Presbyterian Church and their pastors and moderators from functioning or setting foot in Bali. Of course, we all know the reasons they took that decision. They took that decision because of the incident. The murder, ladies and gentlemen, the murder that took place inside the Presbyterian Church in Bali. And so, Grandpa and the Buffaloes, they said, the Presbyterian Church will no longer function in Bali. The Presbyterian Church will no longer function in Bali, they said. And the pastors and the moderator, they are also excommunicated, which means are not really excommunicated, but they are banned from setting foot in Bali. The pictures you see on your screen are from the event of that church. The lady you see there on your screen, if you do not know yet, that is a lady who was shot to death inside the house of God while she was praying to God. Ladies and gentlemen, with her children in Sunday school, they return. The children returned from Sunday school and their mom was gone. She will never be seen again. The children will never see or say mommy again. Never, ever. The French Cameroon soldiers, they did that. They are responsible for it. And so, of course, the pastor was also a victim of that incident. He sustained injuries, I think, on the hand. But this is the problem. The church members saw what happened. I actually received phone calls from some of the church members a day, ladies and gentlemen, a day after that incident. And I questioned them. They explained to me exactly what happened. And they were frank without mincing any words that French Cameroon soldiers were responsible for the shootings in that Presbyterian church, is it in Sang or something like that, in Bali. Church members have said it plain and clear. Church members have said it plain and clear that French Cameroon soldiers carried out the shootings in the Presbyterian church in Bali. Now, this is the problem though. The pastor who was in the church, the pastor of the church members comes out after receiving his treatment, says, I don't know where the bullet comes from. I don't know who did the shootings. Ladies and gentlemen, let's assume that he was confused, being that he was one of those injured or shot. Let's assume, playing the devil advocate, let's assume that the pastor was in a coma or something like that and couldn't understand exactly what happened. The first thing you expect the pastor to do when he gets back to his senses is to go back to the church members to ask, what happened? How did it happen? What did you see? What did you hear? The first witnesses are the church members. And the pastor cannot tell us that he has not spoken to the church members. Ladies and gentlemen, he cannot vow that he came out from his treatment and did not speak with his church members. The church members must have told the pastor, French Cameroon soldiers shot you. They shot my grace and killed her. But this is what had happened. The church pastor now, with the leadership, I am sure he is told by the leadership, by Reverend Funky somewhere, no, you cannot go out and say that French Cameroon soldiers, you cannot go out and say French Cameroon soldiers did the shootings. No, just say that you do not know what happened. You don't know where the bullet came from. Just tell them that only God will judge. As they say, they try to make it spiritual. Just tell the people, we don't know where the bullets came from. God will judge. God understands. Thank God I survived. By the way, let's pray for my grace and pray for the children. Ladies and gentlemen, that is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. That is not a pastor. That is not a pastor. I understand. Do not misunderstand me. I understand the pressure on some of these people in position in that country because of what La République du Cameroon can do. Some pastors have actually been slaughtered by French Cameroon soldiers. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I understand the pressure they face. But listen, when it comes to the pastor and the congregation, if you say you are preaching the truth that saves, the truth that saves, the truth that delivers, and you cannot as much as tell the truth as concerns who killed your own church member, you are a coward. You are no longer a pastor. You have another business on that pulpit. On that pulpit, I am telling you, because ladies and gentlemen, I have been a pastor, pastoring people, over 100 of them. So you not think that I don't understand what we are talking about here. I will go to any length to defend my church members for as long as I know they stand on the side of truth. And it's very pitiful. Let's listen to the Reverend Funky, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to what he says in his message in Douala. Again, I like all of you, listen to him.
And God, who is serving, is still on his throne. Of course, you heard the incident that took place in Damfuang in Bali. And I know that all of you have the video of Grandpa, who said yesterday that all the doors of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon should be closed. I'm so happy that he did not close the doors of all the churches in Bali. So the Catholic churches are opened, the Muslim mosques are opened, the Cameroon Baptist Convention churches are opened, and the Pentecostal churches are opened. If the gospel in the land of Bali cannot be preached by the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, we can move out of Bali quietly and let the other churches continue to grow the Church of God and to nurture the people of Bali. And so we should not be discouraged.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the hypocrisy that I am speaking about here, about the Reverend Funky Samuel. That is the hypocrisy that I am talking about. You know, he comes and he spiritualizes it. You know, you can go to don't just worry. The fall of the Bali Presbyterian Church doesn't mean anything. You, the Christians, you can go to the Catholic Church. You can go to the Baptist Church. You can go to the Pentecostal churches. We are all brothers. We are all this. We are all that. What a shame. What a shame, ladies and gentlemen, of a man of God. I will ask you again as a pastor, sir. Where do you keep your brothers and sisters? I understand that Presbyterian church in Bali was up to close to 500 people. Close to 500 people. I will die for them. I will die defending them if I were their pastor. Hello? I will die defending them if I were their pastor. Look at the arrogance. The arrogant, just go. We don't need the money coming from there. We don't care. You can go to the Catholic Church. You can go to the Baptist Church. You can go to the Pentecostal churches. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I am talking with experience here. A church is a community. A community. There is a bond within every church congregation. The people have built bonds for, just imagine that you have been in the church for 10 years, or just for 2 years, or 3 years. Imagine the bond that you have built with people within that congregation. And when something happens, and all that your pastor tells you it is, instead of telling the truth and shaming the perpetrators, he says, just go to the Catholic Church, just go to the Presbyterian church, just go to the Pentecostal churches. That is not a pastor. That is not a caring attitude, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that the Reverend Funky is hearing me, sir. I will not do that. And I don't think any Pentecostal pastor that you quote will do that. They will die for their sheep. They will die for their Christians. It is not about money. This church thing should never, ever be about money. Because Ireland, you said also that I don't care how much money comes from Bali, it is not going to stop the Presbyterian church. Again, that is what people quoted you as saying. Why should it be about money? Why? Why should it be about money? Why is it not about the people going to heaven? Why is it not about saving souls, nurturing them, and saving their lives, sir? Why? So, however, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, this interim government has said before, again and again, we are not in the habit of wanting to ban churches. Absolutely not. We are not, will never be in the habit of banning any church anywhere. Again, I have said it. A church is a community. A church is not about the leader. A church is a community. And a community is that immediate, the immediate neighborhood, the immediate local area. That is the community. In fact, many churches transfer their pastors. Their pastors are not the churches. The churches are the communities. The communities. And so we have made this very clear in the past. We will never be in the habit of banning any church on ground zero. In fact, you do that, you play into the hands of La République du Cameroon. You know, La République du Cameroon will rush out and put out a statement and get on television to Radio France International, all those their media houses, and tell them, you see, the separatists, we call them terrorists, and you people do not agree. See, they are banning churches, they are stopping children from going to school, they are burning down hospitals, they are killing people. That is what you do, that you play into the hands of La République du Cameroon. And so it has been the position of this interim government never ever to ban any church. However, in the particular instance of Bali, ladies and gentlemen, we stand with the position of Grandpa and the Buffaloes that the pastor of that church be banished from Bali, and Reverend Funky and Reverend Funky, the moderator of the Presbyterian church, be banished from Bali. No dime from that church in Bali, Presbyterian church in Bali, should go up to where Reverend Funky is the presiding moderator. No dime should go there. Now, this is what we have discussed with Bali. This is what we have discussed. Bali Presbyterian Church will go on to having their services. However, the leaders within that community, within that church, will look for their own leader, their own pastor from within them. I have seen in some churches where elders take their rounds. They make their rounds in pastoring the people and in preaching. This is what we expect to happen in Bali. This is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot take the sin of one or two people and then inflict pain upon a congregation of 500 people. They are not the problem. They have told us exactly what happened, and they are still saying it. They are not the problem. We will not punish them, but let them have their services, let them maintain their community, but the pastor will never set foot there until further notice. The moderator will never go there, and no dime from Presbyterian Church in Bali should go to Douala or Buoy, wherever their headquarters is. It should not go there. And we will have spies. We will implant spies in that church. We will implant spies in that church and monitor and know exactly what goes on there. If a dime leaves that church and go to Buoy or go to Douala or Yaoundé, again, wherever the headquarters is, then the church will be shut down. That particular one will be shut down. The Buffaloes of Bali, the restoration forces in Bali, they will enforce this. They will enforce this. We have heard some audios out there from activists asking all Presbyterian churches in the southern zone to shut down. No, we are not for that. We are not shutting down any church, but we are speaking here in terms of Bali Presbyterian Church. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the position of this interim government. I will go back now to my panel. I will start with Bishop John, who has been waiting for a long time. I think he is gone. Bishop John, if you are still on, please. Okay, I see Bishop John is still here. Bishop John, I'm sorry for having you sit in there for so long, waiting to get to me. But let us get back to this Buoy. Bishop John, you are saying something? You are frozen, sir. Bishop John is frozen. Please log back in. Log back in. Let me get to Barrister. Okay, Bishop John, can you hear me? Bishop John, can you hear me, please? Okay, Bishop John is will be reconnecting. Let me get to Barrister Mbesa. Barrister Mbesa, I have said so much within the a short while. I don't know whether you were able to accumulate anything out of what I said. But please, give us your take on these Buoy firing squad sentences.
I think, you see, when those things come out, we must analyze them in the context of what they are doing. I take it from where you started. Illegalities. Do we expect any justice from Cameroon? The short and simple answer is no. Trying people, civilians in the military tribunals, did not start today. They're being told that they are wrong, did not start today. All their partners, international partners, have told them that is illegal and wrong. Communication 266 that was filed in 2003 and whose ruling came out in 2009, it is called the Banjul decision, told them in no mincing words, trying civilians in military tribunals is illegal. So that is a fact. If we're expecting justice from there, we're not going to get it. Let's go back to the military tribunal. I've appeared before the military tribunal for so many times. When I was there, several times. One thing that people don't understand, which we should understand, is the military tribunal is a French court. The language of that court, French. And they tell you that it is because it is a military court, and the language for the military in Cameroon is French. So it's a French thing. You don't expect anything better than that out of it. Let us go down to the fine print of what a court judgment is. I think there are things that we can do. I don't know where you have other sources, but I think we got this story from Equinox. Equinox was broadcasting it. What caught my attention was the Equinox story. Though these people have been sent to a firing squad. Then other people pick it up.
Right.
To me, it looked like propaganda mounted by the government to tell, because they've tried this before.
Barrister, I don't think it is propaganda. I have read the testimony of the defense lawyer describing what happened in that court.
No, let me finish. I think you have those information. But what I'm trying to explain is this. A news network like Equinox, in a trial, be it individual or collective, there's nothing like accused number one without a name, accused number two without a name, victim A without a name. When there's a trial, this gentleman is supposed to be read in public. You cannot say A without a name and say he's sentenced to death. Whatever is the case, I listened. What attracted me most is I listened to Barrister Tamfu, who is a lawyer. What did he say? It is not enough to bring people to court in Buea and say it's related to Kumba. No, you have to say what they did in Kumba. What Tamfu told us, which I listened, so I got something else, was that where they were charged for terrorism, rebel against the nation, and so on. Those are the same charges they brought against Sisiku. So they can bring 20 people there and say terrorism, and then because they are terrorists, you were involved in Kumba. No. This is, to me, because they tried that with Sisiku and his people, and they did not ban them. Now, they sentenced them to life, they did not ban, at least publicly. Now they came and said, well, let us say that we have sentenced one to death, so that any other Ambazonian fighting this battle will know that he or she would also die. I say it is propaganda, and let me explain why. The last, what you explained about executions in Nigeria, that is legal execution. Paul Biya's government, from the beginning of this struggle and even before, has executed so many of our people without following the legal procedure. You talk about Sam Sawyer, that was an execution. And hundreds of others, Mami Abi. They have been doing all this. So you don't expect them to do it differently. Now, as I was trying to say, when you have a case like this, it is not enough for you to have some information. I personally, as an individual, when I got it, I said, look, we need more information about this. I have friends in Buea who are lawyers. So I contacted one of them, go to the court. What we need is the charge. What we need is what they were absolutely charged for. We need their names, who are their lawyers. We need all this detailed information. My lawyer has gotten it, my friend has gotten the information. He will get back to me. But again, I thought there's something we should address immediately. It doesn't cost us any money. And you and me can do that. Get to Equinox Television. They have an administration. It is not journalism to go out and put out a story and start to broadcast it without the details. That A, B, C, D was sentenced for charge article this, article this, article this. You don't put out that type of thing for people to sing and frighten.
But then, Barrister Mbisa, it seems we are being the devil's advocate here. We actually know some people convicted. What is the word? The legal word for it? Freed from that judgment. The owner of the school is mentioned. We know her. The husband, we know. The principal, we know. The others that are not, their names are not even mentioned. Remember that. But we know all these people. The lawyer is telling the media what he witnessed in court, and the Equinox story you are talking about, they were reporting live from the court. Why do you think that is a cover?
Why did they not report the names of these people? There are two different things. You got the information because you went out on your own to investigate. Equinox
I can go to court. I can go to court as a reporter, sitting there and listening to a ruling, and without an immediate statement out, without knowing the names, I can say, hey, this is what happened in the court. There were 10 defendants. 2 or 3 or 4 were found guilty and charged without necessarily calling their names if I don't know them. But it doesn't change the fact that the court session took place or the sentencing took place.
I think the simple thing is this. They tried them when they died or when they did, and they came out with the judgment. Whether you like it or not. Like this.
That's what I'm saying.
All the judgments have been passed like that. Why is it important? Is it because they said that they have sentenced them to death? Or what? I think this. The idea of death, which I was trying to explain, is to me pure propaganda. Because since 1984, since the attempted coup, 1984, there has been no public executions in Cameroon. So this idea of these people who were executed is just intended to frighten the fighters that if you fall into the hands of these people, you will go the same way. They don't even need to announce that they're going to execute them. Maybe they're already dead, we don't even know. They have the power, they have the knife, they have the arm. Maybe they are dead, it's possible. So, coming out on big social media and the people carrying it out like that, has an effect to frighten our fighters, to frighten our supporters. Not because they are doing the right thing. If you remember, What was one of the charges against Sisiko and Ezeko? Not having an identity card, a Cameroon identity card in Nigeria. You don't have a Cameroon identity card in Nigeria, and you're living and then they can't catch you, I can't try you in Cameroon. So that is, part of it is propaganda. The most part of it is the illegality that you and us already know. There's nothing coming out of them which is illegal. It is manifestly illegal. There's no doubt about that. They have been told.
And that is exactly what we seek to bring to an end using this conflict. Let me please get to Bishop John, who has been sitting in here for quite a while. Bishop John, please. You've listened to all of this, and please bring us your take.
Secretary Chris, I greet you, and I greet Barrister Timothy and all the ABC televiewers from all over the world. I'm not surprised. Now, concerning the Ambazonians, that is just a sham, like Barrister Timothy. It is a way to frighten the Ambazonian or the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, of which we know that the Ambazonian Restoration Forces are brave and courageous people. They are not cowards to be frightened by statements or incidents like this. This is not the first time. But what I want to say here concerning these sentences, I want to call on Ambazonians who are not Ambazonian civilians, the teachers, the school people, the lawyers, and all the students, the farmers, mechanics, all. You should not be coward. And freedom is free. What we are fighting for is for a better country. We are all enjoying America today because some people fought and gave their lives. We are enjoying Europe. Europe was not like this. Some people fought and gave their life. The Europeans sacrificed to make Europe what it is, used on the backs of Africans. People say salvation is free. Salvation, God had to sacrifice himself, his only begotten son, Jesus Christ. That is very costly for him, for us to have salvation in this world. So let nobody come and say that freedom is free. You think that you are going to sleep in your bed, go to the market, do your regular business, do everything, and because of all these things comfortable for you, you don't want the ARF to be fighting or to bring. Let me tell you, and some of you are the problem we are facing right now. So far as the sentence for innocent Ambazonians are concerned, I am calling on all the Ambazonian people to arise in solidarity with the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, with this government, that we will tell La République du Cameroon that their injustice is very open. Let nobody get on their houses. When the lockdown will be declared, we should stand in solidarity for the sanctity of life, for the importance of Ambazonian life. We will stand to say no to La République du Cameroon, to say no to their injustice, to say no to this wicked, demonic government that is imposing their way on us. Now listen, we or the interim government has made a decision, and nobody is going to be able to change that decision. We are pleading with you to follow suit, because anybody who gets out, I want to let those La République people know, those senior divisional officers, those La République people who are staying in Ambazonia, we have the capability now to take you out from a distance. Yeah. We have the capability to take you out from a distance. So nobody think that you are going to violate anything that shall come. If you choose not to stand with us, remain in your house. Because if we see you outside during that time, we'll mistake you for an enemy. So I am just saying this is a caution that Secretary Chris has given concerning this matter. I am telling you that we are going to stand in solidarity with these people who have been innocently sentenced. And Secretary Chris, I'm telling you, you said that whether they are dead or not, if these people die, it is going to be worse in Amazonia for anything. If they die, if they venture down, in fact, we will demand evidence of life that these people are alive, or else they have not seen anything yet in Amazonia.
I understand.
Like you said, our own Nigeria has
Bishop John, hold on there a little bit. I understand the defense lawyers are given, I think, 10 days to file an appeal. They are still contemplating whether to do so. I don't see any need for it because they're not going to get anything different from the result they already have. So I think after 10 days, we will know exactly what action to begin to take. Because if they take an appeal, we assume that the guy is still alive. But if there is no appeal and we're not getting any further information, we have the right to assume that they may not even be alive. Go on, please.
Okay. That is said, but I'm really talking to appeal to the Amazonians that it is time that Amazonians cease from being cowards. I'm just appealing. You know, Secretary, why people are dying, while I'm probably killing people, there are other people who are opposing or just because they want to do their business. I see people building houses. You are talking about lawyers, Secretary. You are just talking about the court. You know what the lawyers are doing now? They are the one helping to do land document, land titles, all this deed of conveyance for land. That's what they are doing now. They are helping to facilitate the illegal sales of our land to like public citizens.
Yeah.
You know, that's what these lawyers are doing. And that's why they have gone to court for. Who have you seen them defending?
That's what I said.
Who defend Amazonia to the Latin court? Who are they defending? They are just making their
Bishop
money
John,
helping to facilitate the sales of our property to
Bishop John, a few months ago, I read more than a dozen names of lawyers in this TV. Lawyers who are out exploiting prisoners, detainees. They go to their families and they take millions with a promise, I can get to the Procureur General, I can get to the judge or the magistrate, and I give you a chunk of this money, your son, your brother will be set free. Nobody is ever set free, and none of those lawyers ever go back to those detainees. That's what is going on.
Chris, can I just say something? Let me just clarify a point. What you're saying is perfectly right. What about lawyers? There's no doubt about that. But this is something legally. In Cameroon, if you are sentenced to death, an appeal is automatic.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you have lawyers filing or not, it is automatically appealed by the law. And that's why I go back to what I said. You're saying that A, B, C without names has no meaning because we don't know whether these people are alive or not.
Okay.
The case of Wazizi is an example. We should know that the sentence Anu to death, the sentence Mbesa to death. So we can challenge them, produce Mbesa. Otherwise, 6 months, 1 year after, we don't even know the people are sentenced to death anyway.
I think I get your point there, and it makes a lot of sense because 2 months down the road, they can bring anybody and say this is the Bible sentence. He is still alive.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Publicly, without saying that it was Anu, it was Bishop, it was Mesa, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they just put no name there. Then down the road we say, but you know they took your brother, you don't even know where he is, you don't see him. He's completely disappeared. No, he died. He died of some natural causes.
I think what we have to do is get the defense lawyer to give us the names. He knows them.
That's why I said. That's why I asked my own personal friend to go to the court records, give us the names of the individuals, the charges for which they were charged, the lawyers who defended them. He would send it to me as a private friend. He would, but we need that information.
Yes, right. Bishop John, come back in.
Barrister Mbesa, I know this public record, and he should be able to have it without any problem, right?
Well, it is a public record.
Is there anything
otherwise,
how do we get
that goes to the end of the day and somebody is sentenced to death? She have taken place for more than 4, 5, 6 days. Nobody heard about it. They would have been allowed to bring their witnesses, their brothers and fathers would have been there. It is officially supposed to be popular,
I want us.
But we don't know.
I want us to talk about this idea of the ARF or the call by the Defense Department to ban this court, or if that's a decision that the Supreme Military Council is going to take. Now, Secretary Chris, I want to tell you that, just like you said, when the court started going back to, people started going back to court, that created some kind of normalcy and thought life was becoming normal. And now, you see, La Republic is forcing for schools to be going. When the courts are going and schools are going under this terrible condition, they are going to give the international community the impression that life has returned to normal. So these same lawyers who cry out and we came out to support them, they are the same lawyers who are throwing us, they are betraying us because of their stomach. Like you said that the guy prophesied, and exactly what is happening. You know that some of these lawyers have become real estate agents. Barrister Timothy, can you tell us if when you went to the bar, is it the job of the lawyer to actually start looking for land to sell? Is real estate sales or real estate business part of the bar licensing that you people had? I don't understand.
No, this is the point. Admit it or not, some of the lawyers are so poor. They will do anything to get money. But that's besides the point. I think that this issue of lawyers and court is the simplest case we can handle. Whereas the colonial governors, the colonial duos, and so on are provided bodyguards. In a town, let me say Buea or Muyuka, you have 5 lawyers there on their own. If we bring down 1 or 2, that's the end of the court. Nobody is protecting them. Then we can handle it within seconds. So, the lawyers, there's no doubt that we have lawyers who are doing absolutely very wrong things. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Some of them don't even know what they are doing anyway. But they pass for lawyers. I'm not here to challenge their, their ability to be lawyers. But some of them do so many dubious things besides that. How can a lawyer on earth be going to solicit money to go and bribe a judge?
Yeah.
How can that happen? I remember that in my days in Buea, what some friends in Douala, who is a company who did insurance cases, with money to bribe the judge. And I'll mention the judge because he's not dead. One day, one of them came from Douala, they give him money. But it's Justice Bawak at the time, he so rest in peace, sent him out of his office. If the company hire you, they hire you to come here and defend the case, not to go and bribe me. But that's been going on forever because some lawyers are more interested in money than the profession.
Yeah.
That's the fact. We cannot deny that. Not every lawyer is a good lawyer.
No, you see, yes, the lawyers are people that we lean on to, who are supposed to uphold justice in the land. But instead, our lawyers have become cowards. I really praise lawyers like our barrister who is talking with us here, Barrister Timothy, Barrister John Saw, and other brave lawyers who have been standing with us regardless and speaking the truth in the midst of this. These are courageous people. But the rest of the other lawyers, they hide in the back, sending text messages, and they're only trying to scam money. I see them sending text messages overseas and trying to find a client for land sales. And this is how they are just selling our things. So we are telling the lawyers that you should back up. If all Amazonians will group together, we are going to win this war very quickly. We are going to get our country quickly. But the people who continue to make this fight long for us are these cowards. People who are cowards, who think that we can get freedom by giving nothing. If some people are giving their lives on the line, you cannot give up work and money for 2 weeks, for 1 month, for 3 months. You cannot stay in your house and sacrifice and fast when somebody is dying. Sacrifice? This is what is holding us back, Secretary. All those black legs and enablers. These are the enablers who are still enabling the colonial system in our land and making us difficult to go to Buea very quickly. That is it about the lawyer, Secretary. I don't know if you wanted us to talk about any other aspect, because I have something to say about the church.
We will get there really soon. But let me make this point very clear. There are a number of lawyers, and I don't know all of them, who have done a wonderful job defending some of our people in Douala, in Buoy, in Bamenda, in Yaoundé. We cannot mix everybody into the same basket. And we
there are few of them, Secretary Chris. There are few of them.
Yes, no, there are few of them. There are few of them. I appreciate them. When my mother was locked up, my sister was locked up, the lawyers who defended them, they did it without asking. Some of them, not all of them. We had like about 3 lawyers. Some of them did it without asking for a dime. But I remember, I think some 2 of them or so, they were so money conscious. In fact, when the case started, they told us, Secretary Chris, listen, you know, this is our struggle. We're not going to charge you anything. We just let you to pay our transport to the court to and fro. And the first money I sent to them, I think it was 500,000 or so, or I think it was 500,000 or $500. It wasn't even 2 weeks, and another transport money to the court came up. We paid that one. Another 1 month after, another transport money. And so when I realized that was all, no, when they don't tell you what you have to pay, it's all about transport, it's an open check. And so when I realized that this transport thing was becoming a regular thing, we said no. We started talking to different lawyers, and the other lawyers who follow it up to the end asked no dime. I don't want to name them, but again, there are a few lawyers out there who are really doing their best, and we appreciate it. But please, in Amazonia, going forward, forget about lawyers, forget about the courts. They are over. All right, let's move over to the Presbyterian Church subject, Bishop John and Barrister Mesa. You listened to my monologue on aid, and are we wrong? We have discussed this. Our position in the church has been, for the church has been, we will never, as a government, ban any church, because a church is a community of people. They have built bonds within themselves, and to say, hey, you can't meet, I think is rather totalitarian. So, we reiterated the position of the church. We've spoken to the people in Bali and the Buffaloes. I think they are very much okay with this position, but the pastor and the moderator, they remain under our indictment. Bishop John.
Yes, Secretary Chris, I will differ slightly. I'm a Christian, and I can say that I'm a servant, a Christian servant. To just say that we cannot ban churches is kind of is not appropriate, because if the church people becomes enabler of a wicked regime, then what good is that church? A church is supposed to be that body that is supposed to uphold righteousness, is supposed to uphold justice, is supposed to fight for injustice, is supposed to fight for social justice. But if a church has become a church that is going to defile the rights of people for their independence, what use is that church? What use is the church, Secretary Chris? Let me tell you, to me, we have to give this Presbyterian community in Amazonia to fire the moderator. To fire the moderator. If they don't fire the moderator, we ban their church. Because the people are the members of the church. They form the church. It's not the moderator who owns the church. For that, I agree. But if they are going to be allowing a leader who is going to be conniving with a wicked regime to come and impose suffering on the Amazon, we're going to hold the Presbyterian Christian responsible to hold their leaders to justice, and he should fire that moderator. He should be fired for speaking in public and for taking side with men. He is a coward. He cannot say to the face of the public, you are wicked, you are killing our people, and instead they care about making tithes and offering, they care about making money, they care about extort. So let me tell you something. I want to go a little further about the church. Let me tell you. Most of the churches we see today, they are money-making church. Let me tell you, when I was in the Presbyterian church, when the Presbyterian church want to build a secondary school, they will tax everybody in the church who will contribute money for that Presbyterian school. But let me tell you, Secretary Chris, over 60-70% of the people in that Presbyterian church, they cannot afford to send their children to that school. But everybody contributed for that school to be built. You hear me? These are people who are just making money and side with the government just because they want to be making money. They don't care about the freedom of Ambazonia. They care about the money that they want to be making. And these are the people who are making life as if life is normal in Ambazonia. So, Secretary Chris, I will really look very carefully at the idea that we cannot ban a church. If a church becomes an enabling force to the enemy, they can be banned. That's what I will say.
Well, Bishop John, listen, I really don't think I totally disagree with you, but in this particular case, we are, I think, on the same footing. We are talking about the leadership. The members haven't done anything to us wrong. You remember I said we are setting spies in that church. If a dime should go to Reverend Funky's control, whether in Buoy or Douala, wherever the headquarters is, then that church, that particular one, will suffer. So yeah, I think there are situations where we can do exactly what you have said. But for now, the people having wronged us, in fact, they are the one telling us, a lot of people, Cameroon soldiers shot and killed one of them. So we stand with them. But the moderator, as you said, if he just continues, we will have to make sure that the Presbyterian banish him from that congregation. Okay, Balisambisa.
Thank you.
Okay, Balisambisa, hold on a second. Let Bishop John finish the talk.
Okay. Yeah, Senator Chris, I don't think that banning the moderator from the Presbyterian Church Bali is enough, because this moderator is working for La Republic and is promoting this La Republic agenda all over Ambazonia. So banning him from Bali doesn't make any impact. And you still leave the church is functioning, everything, and no, it doesn't make any impact, Secretary Chris. That is just useless. These guys should be fired from the Presbyterian Church. We should hold the entire Presbyterian Church of Cameroon responsible for letting somebody like this, who is siding with the evil government, to suffer the people of Ambazonia. That's what I just want to say, please.
All right, Balisambisa.
I would rather suggest this. Let us frame a policy that will cover all the churches. And this will be how we should go in these lines. Any church leader, be it a pastor, a priest, a bishop, whatever thing in portion of church leadership, who abuses his position to betray Ambazonia, shall be held accountable as an individual. This is because, for example, we're talking about the Presbyterian Church. I'm not very sure that call it Bali. Maybe there were 500 Christians there. If the government wanted to bribe the Bali community, they will not come there and give your mother or my mother who is inside that church kneeling on the ground 500 francs. They give it to the pastor.
Right.
So they are not going. The poor woman who comes there just to make the rosary or whatever thing and pray, she not be made to suffer anything. If that pastor, if that priest, if that bishop abuses that position and works someone of them, we'll follow him as an individual. This is how the process should look like. I don't know how we'll put it down in fine print. That's how it should look like. Because a church, in the essence of it, is not the pastor, it's not the building, it's the community of people, like Anu has said. Several thousands of people who come together to worship. That's how the Christian church grew up. From the time of Peter, from the time of Jesus Christ, the church was a community of people. So we cannot point these people for the acts of their leaders. That said, let me go back to what I think the moderator already gave us the answer. He said he had ordered the withdrawal of his pastors from Bali. So fair and good, they are gone. So the Bali community of the Presbyterian Church She handled their own affairs in the way they liked it. They probably never had a say when they were choosing the moderator. Neither do Christians of the Catholic Church have a say when they are choosing a bishop, even a priest. They are not elected. Again, this is what I see wrong with the moderator. The moderator does not appear to know many things, and seems so incompetent in the position he holds. The moderator, to the best of my knowledge, doesn't live in Bali. He probably lives in Buea, thousands of kilometers away, hundreds of kilometers away. So he was not expected to know, because he was not a witness in the event.
Correct.
The pastor who was presiding, he was inside the church. The firing came from outside. He was not supposed to know. The gun came from outside. So he could not know. What they needed to do was simply to do a credible investigation of their own. If the moderator sitting in Buoy appointed 2 pastors plus 2 catechists, go there and find out from the people what happened. They will talk to 100, 200 Christians who were in church. And they will to tell you, I saw this boy, if he's Amba, he's the son of Mr. YZ, who shot the gun. Or this is the military who did it. That is credible investigation, and that has been done before. All of us remember Ngarbo. When Ngarbo happened, the people said, no, what nothing to do with it. What nothing to do with it. But there's a church community there, a Catholic community there, that belongs to the Diocese of Kumbo. The bishop did not go there. The bishop sat in his office. And what happened? Teachers who teach in that place were able to make a report with a fine print of everybody who was killed, the age, the class, and so on and so forth. When this information came out, the people had to escape by saying, no, okay, we are responsible. So when you hear the moderator saying that he wants a credible investigation, what is he talking about? It means he doesn't even understand Cameroon where he lives.
That's the question I asked. You have your Christians who were seated in that church that Sunday, witnessed everything that happened, and you say you want somebody to come from, maybe you want amnesty to leave London, go to Bali and investigate what happened in his church.
Now, Chris, what I'm trying to explain is that he doesn't know where he is, because even if the credible orator is appointed by the Pope, who is the highest church authority, or whoever in the Vatican or wherever, he's not going to come to Cameroon until the Cameroon government gave me a visa. You come to Cameroon on their terms.
Right.
And you will not just go and talk to everybody. The Cameroon government can cause those witnesses to disappear. So when he says he wants credible fact-finding, he's at the least being so dishonest. Then he said something again, which makes me think that this man knows nothing. He said, we're complaining, you and me, everybody is complaining about what happened. But nobody tells you what happened before that happened.
Right.
It's what he said. What is he talking about? That the Amber boys, what happened before that happened? Well, each one knows that the government can come to attack us before they kill, before they shot the pastor. So we knew what happened before it happened. So what does the moderator know sitting in Buea, which I think is there, more than somebody living in Bali, who was in that church, who saw the events happening? Again, the pastor, the pastor and the moderator don't seem to know where they are. They call it Presbyterian Church. The Presbyterian Church was originally called the Basel Mission Church. The Basel is the town in, I think, Switzerland somewhere. Their missionaries came to us. They came to Bali. But they did not go to Basel. The Roman Catholic priest came from Rome to Cameroon, to Libya, to everywhere. We did not go to Rome to meet them there. So, if he doesn't know that the church leadership has to go down to the people, rather than that the people have to come off to them, they don't know what they're talking about. Because that's not how a church functions. You said it rightly. Leader, especially a religious leader, who cannot stand strong for his followers like Christ did, is not a leader. I've asked this question before, and that is not the first time. There are so many leaders in church, like the lawyers were talking about, who have failed us. For example, the church in South Africa, or the Christian church Episcopal, is larger than the one we have in Cameroon. But among the pastors in South Africa, How many Desmond Tutu were there? Only one out of millions. So these people, they have so much human feeling that they don't seem even to know what they are supposed to be doing. They are supposed to die for the people who follow Christ. Christ died for us. Not run and abandon the people and pulling my pastors out. Well, his interest is money because he says without Bali, the church will still have money. No, sir, Mr. Moderator, the church is not about money. It is about souls, and souls are morality. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bishop John, before you come in, let me announce we'll be opening the phone lines. But remember, before you call, make sure the volume of your TV set is shut down so that we're not having an echo in the background or noise in the background when you call. Again, before you call, make sure the volume of your set is turned down. Bishop John, go on, please.
You are muted.
Bishop John, your microphone is, you are muted. You are muted on your side.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I want to say that Barrister Timothy said that the moderator might not seem to know what he say, or no, the church is about soul. This man knows exactly what he's saying. He knows that it's all about the money. It's not about the soul. Now, Barrister, since this revolution started, how many pastors or priests or reverends have you seen stood for the revolution? Very few. And some who stood like they care them, they backflip, they flip-flop. You know, so you see that the church is all about money. All they care about members leaving their churches, offering that they are going to lose, or their retirement they are going to miss, and all this. And look, if I'm going to align what the church is doing, let me tell you something, I think that the church has lost the purpose of the church in the world, which is to save souls and to empower those souls. But you see, the church, some of the churches like the Presbyterian Church and the Catholic Church, they have become so economically powerful that the wealth, that wealth is only enjoyed by the elite or the pastors or the reverend or the moderators or the Roman or whatever, you know. But the members who contribute to that church do not benefit. I can tell you, up to 70% do not benefit from that wealth, except the rich elite who can afford to send some of their kids for very high school fees to some of their universities and to some of their secondary schools. But the common farmer who contributed money, when I was there, you'd see YP, we were YP, young Presbyterian, they would charge us to contribute money. Our mothers will be contributing, our parents, everybody in the church will contribute money to build a school. But some of us, we could never see because we were poor. We could never see the four walls of those schools. Only the rich people, the government people, the well-to-do, we send their kids to that school. But we contributed money to build that school. And that's what is happening with their hospital, everything. So how good is the church to the community, my friends? How good is the church to the community when the church has become a money-making machine? The reverend, the moderator is very right. It's about money. It's not about souls anymore with the churches in this Cameroon, in Amazonia.
Thank you for being so passionate about this, Bishop John. Let's get to the first caller here, calling from Ground Zero. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. I am calling from Douala, sir.
Okay, thanks for calling, sir. What is your contribution?
My contribution is that man of God, the moderator from the Presbyterian Church, God did not call him; he called himself. So those are the Bible says, by their fruit you shall know them, and he is the only person that can promote injustice and is a disgrace in the church of God. And that type of person.
Are you a Presbyterian?
No, I am not in any of the church. I'm not a Presbyterian.
Okay.
Yes. So
And what? Tell me.
he has told,
Let me ask this: what are you hearing from Presbyterians?
so that is the gunshots. I am in Douala, and the news I got from the newspapers is that gunshots just entered into the church like that and put down that woman that died and wounded pastor. So it is the work of the moderator now to find out adequate investigation, not to sit and connive and promote injustice, because that man, he called himself. God did not call him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the call. Thank you. Remain safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get to the next caller here, ladies and gentlemen. See Ground Zero calling. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yes, I'm calling directly from Ground Zero, and I'm now in Yaoundé.
Okay. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, I want to first of all salute your indulgence with regards to the program. While watching live on TV, I am very, very bitter because not all of us can become leaders at the same time. But we are leaders, but we are on the Ground Zero. Sir, I want to talk on the particular point you mentioned about the decision of the interim government in shutting down schools and all what is happening in our fatherland. Yeah, we have written time and again to you people there that beaches, school, and everything should be shut down because it gives way to the enablers and to the enemies to infiltrate the land. We cannot be fighting something that would refuse enemy for entry, but we are paving, in one way, we are paving a course for them to narrowly enter our own territory and begin to mastermind their evil acts in their various institutions. Those sentences that they say they have mentioned there, the act of Kuma massacre were perpetrated here, and the day that the decision was taken, we saw it was here. And then it happened in our land, and the people never stood up to speak the truth. So, sir, shut down every school, shut down everything that concerns the people here. Then their government not just real in our land. Then we should multiply the strategy of the institutional forces because we are on the ground working, because all of us cannot go overseas. We give you information for you to take a firm decision against us. Leaders be united so that we will short-lived to the war. Break all those breaches that has bombed the Mungo and everything. Buea is acting, but not acting fervently with regards to ghost town and everything, because some moment ghost towns are gone, but some part are functional. How can that be a capital of the Federal Republic? So therefore, with this, it is really a provocation to us. Some of us are having high bloods because of the action that is not going well on the field. Please and please, you are all members of our government, and we are listening to you. We give you the information, implement it, and let all the restoration forces be there. Why are we drafting? We are drafting for what? We are drafting to make sure that we get out things quickly so that our people can have relief. Many things are going on that you are not informed of. We have all the Catholic and all the archives. They are in our disposal. That on the day will come that we shall now expose what was happening there. So, my dear people, I beg, we should kick the enemy as we are kicking a football out of the football pitch. And totally, it will never again go to that pitch for player. So, my dear people, we should break all the breaches that is linking that COVID, shut down all the decisions that you have put, which we are very happy to hear. All highways be locked down, everything blocked, no movement from La Republic to Amazonia, no movement of any car, irrespective of what. That one should be indefinite forever. Forever. Because our people can just survive with this and everything. School should be shut down and let us work in preparation of the 1st October. So, sir, that is just my contribution. But now with the so-called pastors, as you said, the so-called pastors, I am a Presbyterian. I have been a Presbyterian, though I am also a pastor now. But I want to let you know, we read the Bible every day. That is not a pastor. That name, pastor, means godly name. That is a spiritualist. That one should be somebody who has masterminded his powers from some deity or somewhere, and then there is working for his spirit. Because in Presbyterian, there are so many contributions they do. They say church contribution, tithes and offering. That is their main purpose. They are not teaching the people the kingdom of God. Jesus Christ came and was telling us the kingdom of God is within us. They were not talking about tithes and offering. Anything tithe and offering is just to facilitate God's work on earth so that it can move. There's no tithe and offering in heaven. So salvation is personal in the body. The so-called moderator or you call that demon one. So, my dear people, salute their effort and make sure that the decision should be firm. We want a quick decision, not that waiting for the court to be taking trial, that they have to appeal. Nothing like that. Please be firm, be radical, please.
All
we
right.
are more radical on the feet. Radical. We need radicalism and be united, please. I'm very tensed here now.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you. We hear you, and you can trust that in the coming days you will hear from us. God bless. All right. Let's get the lines are jammed, packed. Let's see who is here next. Hello.
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 Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
Yeah, calling from Norway.
Okay, and what is the contribution?
Yes, send my greeting to Bishop John and the barrister.
Bishop.
For you people, that the great job that you people are doing.
Thank you.
Just want to contribute for the last caller that he was trying to say, and everybody is on pains. All this, I think we have already gone through Ghost Town. As is they are talking about shutdown, it's good that everything in Ambazonia, all the bridges, we should put them down. All those bridges, Likumba, every bridges in Ambazonia should be down. Because when they are leaving these things, schools is going down, the Republic are playing and they are killing our people. People should not be playing politics. They should put all those bridges, Fiango, Kumba, cut all those bridges. We can use our food. What is going on in Bali, that is good. They should take it from every part of Ambazonia. Because when they are using those ammo card, they cannot go through. People can take a motorbike, cross the bridges that they have cut, take motor and go to the other way. This is normal. They should cut all those bridges down. You don't see no need of keeping those bridges because they will use those bridges, take the ammo card to go and kill our guys.
All right.
That is my own contribution.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We can only bite what we can chew, right? So I know that people are very passionate and emotional out there, but we can only work with the amount of resources at our disposal. Let's get to the next caller here. The phones are jammed up. Hello. 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 Okay, that's a bad connection. Let's get to the next caller here from ground zero. Hello. Hello. Good evening, sir. Quite some noise in your background there.
Yes, I'm calling from Bali. No, it's pretty calm here. It's pretty calm here. I don't know where the noise is coming from. It's pretty calm here.
All right, go on. You're calling from Bamenda. Okay, what is your contribution?
Yes, I want to key up with the last two callers. I'm very, very happy. Good evening to the other gentlemen, by the way. I'm very, very happy at the stage. The stage being set for the evolution of the virus, because I've always maintained that this war would long have ended, and this country would long have been established if we have been more serious, more realistic, more foresighted. Because we have been taking a lot of chances. We have been taking too many chances. We are dealing with a dangerous, primitive, demonic enemy that needs complete sacrifice to do away with these phones. But school going on, course going on, the activities that are not supposed to be there are going on. Amazonians are not even as dedicated as they're supposed to be to this cause. So this new policy of shutting down the territory completely, I endorse it completely. This is what we need now, so that this thing can be done away with once and for all. There are no enemies. They are striving because of our carelessness, because of our negligence. If we indicate accordingly.
All right.
Yes,
thank you.
The message. Then secondly, sorry, 1 minute.
Okay.
Secondly, about Reverend, I'm very sorry to call him the Reverend. I cannot call him the Reverend. That is a mafia chief, a mafia boss. And I support what the bishop was saying. that the perpetrator must be compelled to get rid of that criminal. Yes. They must be compelled to get rid of that criminal. We can no longer do with him. From the beginning of this revolution, he has been against, he has been an agent of the enemy. It must be done away with. Yes. So these are my contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You guys remain safe over there. Okay, again, the phone lines are jammed. Let's see who else is here. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Gabon.
Calling from Gabon. Wonderful. Watching on ABC Amba TV?
Yeah, we have it all over in Gabon.
Oh, wonderful. Great to hear that. What is your contribution, sir?
Yes, I'm appreciating what you are doing. We thank you very much. Let me see with pigeon.
Okay.
We thank you over. Which way you do them? It will not be easy for some person like you to do that work. Because which way you drum? If they give for even for 100 people, they know drum. And we beg you, let me continue. Let people not discourage you. Because which way they drum now? Which way they drum? They need at least 100 people for do which way you drum. And we beg you, send me you help we fight at them. Anything we concern like Republic, let it shut down. We think that shut down will help we for all that thing we play it in the worker. Because if we don't make shut down, something not will work. If we lock all that place them, all that road them, as just from the beginning, so someone will shut down, someone will lock them. All things will work. But if we open them, they open and they leave them, we shut all things, even that school them, because we normally agree something with people that go for school. When you be for security. If time people come, now we just suffer. French people they know they suffer. And if we lock all that place, lock all companies there, even that court the way you talk something they will lock them, so we'll lock them. We will start to change it. Each time we start we'll make lockdown. We start to change it. Change it because we people they know our key them. We fight that they get opportunity for penetrate we enemy them. At the big we say we will try to talk for we fight at them. For all that thing we it dig of our gathering. Say maybe we lock them. And if we lock them so we people they give more safe than wait when we dey open outside. We tell as we talk from the beginning, say, make them be ready for lockdown. If we make that lockdown with the other face, with the police we on people there. When we leave road, they can't enter the police we on people more. Then we people die. Now we just suffer.
All right.
They cry. So people cry something, they know lost something. But I beg you, if you there for position, if you talk, say if they make that lockdown as you don't talk say by Monday, you make it so. If they make it 2 months, block all things, something no come out, something no enter. You will say and say we people with security pass. So
all right.
and I tell you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate your call. You guys remain safe. As I have indicated in my talking points here, we want every Amazonian on ground zero. Please prepare. Get food home. Get water home. Whatever you need home, get it home. We will be coming back with specifics on what we are trying to do here. That we don't want to surprise you. Please, between now and Monday or Wednesday, get back your children from any boarding house. If you're a university student, get back home. Wherever you are, please get back home. All right, let me get to the next caller here. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Secretary, please.
Hello, good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, Victoria.
Okay, thanks for calling, sir. What is the contribution?
Yes, my contribution is I want us to know that if 1 million Amazonians are watching ABC, 4 million La Republic are watching the same ABC, and we cannot come on air to discuss our strategy of our struggle on the TV. So I want to make our Ambazonians brothers to know that there is a plan going on, what to do and how to get to it. So they should be praying and keep calm and follow what the restoration forces are, the command and the order they are giving to them, for them to be safe. And for the man of God, there is a mixed feeling in Presbyterian Church. There is a mixed feeling in Presbyterian Church of all what I've gathered and investigate. There's a mixed feeling. The Christians are not happy from his statement, from his behavior, and since he's the moderator and some are afraid to talk, the Christians in Presbyterian Church are not really happy for what he has come out to speak, and they are saying that he's not more fighting for the souls of the people, he's only looking after financial interests. So people should know that we are in a struggle, and in this struggle, whatever thing any man is saying, somebody is saying, the person must mind his or herself what is coming out of his mouth, because when Ambazonia will march to Buea, they will use all his words to judge him, he or she. Be a reverend, be whosoever you are, nobody is bigger than the millions of Ambazonia. We want to beg our people just to be informing us. There is a immigration investigation force that is on the ground doing what they are doing. They will come out with the truth of everything. And even the man of God that was being shot, wounded by the bullet, we know that it is out of fear and out of pressure that he is not saying what the truth. But we just keep God to judge them as men of God, and their conscience to be alive also, if they truly call themselves men of God. And I want to beg everybody to stay safe, because from the days ahead, things will not be the way they are expecting. From now till October, things will not be the same. They should be very careful, and our restoration force should know that many people are dressing now like rascals, putting earrings, plaiting their heads, and moving with automatic pistol in their body. They should be very careful.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the contribution. Let's get to others who have something to contribute.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Again, the phones are jammed packed here, and I love it when it is ground zero calling. Hello. Hello. Please, when you call, be ready to speak when your call is picked up. Okay. Hello. You just called before, sir, correct?
Yes, sir. I heard it before.
Please, let's give the chance to somebody who hasn't called. Thank you. Okay. Hello. Hello. This is a poor connection. Let's get to the next caller here. Okay. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, sir?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Which county?
Yes. Ground Zero.
Which county? Which county?
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Which county are you calling from?
Yes, please. Zambian County.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
I'm calling from Zambian County.
All right, thank you. What is the contribution?
Okay. Yes, I just want to say.
You have. I think you have connection issues. Yes, go on, go on.
Does not solve the problem. Please, action speaks louder than words. Speaks louder than words. We talk too much talks. We become a livestock. You people should go on action. Action. Don't go on and this talking with the secrets over TV. You, our restoration forces and the interim government should go on action. We should take surprise actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call, and I think we will end the calls there. We will end the call there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long broadcast, Gentlemen, Pastor Mbise and Bishop John, before you go, I want to leave everybody with this, but I will, before you go, listen to this. You will make your last statement coming from this. Like everybody to listen to this.
I never knew that I would end up in maximum prison. And Deputy Commissioner General Warrior, he's a young man. We met in those circumstances. He was my boss. Under difficult conditions and quite oppressive regime, he tried very hard to act professionally. He knows what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Chakawa knows what I'm talking about. And I looked at this young man. How is he managing to stay reasonable in an environment like this? He was my boss. I was a bit naughty sometimes because I did not accept certain instructions, which I thought were against my human rights. But we got along in a very strange way. He was my boss. Today, he's being sworn in by one of his detainees. Life goes round. And if we, all the time we are saving people to the best of our ability, we'll be fine. And it will be noticeable. There is, I never told him. He got a message this morning that he'll be Deputy Commissioner General. I don't know how he felt, but it's how he acted when he was fully in charge. Professional, to the best of his ability. I think that's the message I'm delivering. For the colleague, Deputy Inspector General of Police, you know what you've gone through. The nation knows what you've gone through. You're not coming back to punish those who treated you like that. No. You're coming back to show them that you are a better person, that you occupy a higher moral ground than those that persecuted you. I think the story is told. People of Zambia, let's support each other, let's work together. Journalists have a role to play. They must be protected when they come to State House by you, Deputy Inspector General of Police. Today they are journalists, tomorrow they'll be presidents, one of them. One of them, may. Life goes round, but if we act professionally, enforce law and order within the confines of the law, you'll be okay. I said to your colleagues last time, we cannot use tear gases on our people willy-nilly. Harmless people, armless people, tear gas, live bullets, no. No. But I'm not saying you should not maintain law and order. I am not saying criminals must not be brought to book. They should and they will, but do it professionally. Soon we'll be talking about law oversight institutions, Anti-Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission, Financial Intelligence Center. They too have to do their job. Someone misunderstood the message I've given to mean that I have done a deal with those who took people's money. It's a deliberate distortion. Citizens' money must come back to the owners, the citizens. Full stop. But that's not my job. That's the job of those colleagues. I think, Vice President, I deliberately reinforce this message so that we can provide leadership to bring life back to normal in our country. Don't steal from the people. Even the new colleagues, in a few days we'll be announcing ministers. And you'll be very happy. You'll be very happy. You will agree with me it was worth waiting. Looking at different things. They should not say the shoes of those who were there before us, the corrupt, are bad. They throw them in the bin. In the night, they go and pick them. Tomorrow they're wearing the same shoes. No. No, 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 no. That's not what we're saying. Corruption is corruption. Stealing from the people is stealing from the people. But our main interest is to return the money to the owners, the people of Zambia, so they can have water, so they can have food, so they can have those things. I thought I needed to clarify this, Vice President, because I'm listening a lot. I like hearing what social media is saying, what other people are saying. I hope this makes the point clear. With that, it's late in the day. Thank you to the team organizing these events. Very soon we'll be about to close. We'll be closing because we have to set on with the business of running the country for the people. So we'll finish this phase by and large, largely. And the next time we meet in a different environment with the journalists, Secretary of the Cabinet will like questions. In that situation, we'll like questions. Anton Buoy, arrange for me an open radio program where citizens will be calling openly, without restriction, without threats, to demonstrate the new dawn that citizens can ask any question they want. We'll work hard to answer it. If we can't answer it, we'll pass it to her, we'll pass it to somebody. Let's demonstrate what we're saying, not just to these men, the women last time, but to ourselves, to lead by example. We committed to voters that will be talking to citizens once in a while on an open line. And no one will visit you after you ask a question, whatever question. The onus is on you to ask a decent question. It's on you, it's not on us. But you will ask a question, no one will phone you again to say, why did you ask that question? You are free. It's a new dawn, Freedom Day. I thank you.
It's a new dawn in Zambia. It is Freedom Day. I wish we had this in our own country. We wouldn't be in this today. And I just wish Africa had men, Republicans, as this new young president coming from jail to become president of Zambia. On that note, I will have you, Barrister Mbisa and Bishop John, please say the last word for the day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I have two messages. The first message goes to the sentencing of 4 people to death. The message to Ambazonians is this: let us take them for their word that they are actually sentenced to death and that they die. Yes, if they do die, there will be only 4 out of several millions who have died before them and who will die after them. We are here to stay. We will stay the course. For those who die with their blood for the cause, we will remember them. For those who survive, we will go to Buea. Don't be discouraged. Where they kill, if they kill the 4, they have killed thousands before them. These 4 are not different from the children they killed in Kumba. They are not different from the pregnant women in Garubu. So kill them or don't kill them, nothing should disturb you at all. The battle is on until you get to Buea. I hope they are listening to me. The next message goes to the churchgoers. To the church in Bali and the church in general, know this. You own the pastors. The pastors don't own you. You own the priests and the bishops. They don't own you. So they are there because you are there. If they were not following, there will be no moderator. There will be no bishop. And to the church officials, call them bishops, call them pastors, call them any name. I've given this warning before. The church operates under a certain context in politics. In Cameroonian politics, Camerooners, they give you money, but they never give you money for nothing. If you take their money directly or indirectly, they abort your conscience. You cannot take their money in any form, in any gift, and pretend to tell the truth for them. They will not listen to you. They will rather kill you. So stay away from their money if you want to do your job, if you want to fight for your community. You have learned it. I hear they give money to all the church officials in the pretext of helping them. Now, they're not helping you. I don't think all of us have forgotten. At the beginning of this crisis, they went to clear some grass and Sacred Heart Mountain. As it was help. It was a way to steal money. Those cutlasses were bought. For how much you don't know. It's a scheme to steal. The context in which we pray in Cameroon is corruption number one. Let the pastors, let the church officials know that. If they didn't know, let them know it. That's how it is. Take their money, you are their slave. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister Bishop John, please.
Yes. Thank you, Secretary Chris. I have a message for the ARF and the people of Ambazonia. I want to, first of all, thank the Ambazonia Restoration Forces for their bravery, their tenacity, the sacrifices that they have made. And I want to assure them that all those who are making sacrifices for the independence of Ambazonia, they will be rewarded. Their families will be rewarded. Their labor will not go in vain. That's why we need to know you. You need to align with your local government and with your county to be fully identified so we know your work and your suffering should not be in vain. Now, all those commanders, all those ARF who have become warlords and you are lording over the people of Ambazonia, you did not take on that arm to make money for yourself. You took on that arm to defend the people of Ambazonia so that we can have our independence. So we are calling on the ground zero executive and the Ambazonian commanders on the ground to enforce order in not fighting but terrorizing the people. They should take care of him. He should be disciplined and they should make sure he stop doing that. And now I want to talk to the Ambazonia people. Ambazonia people, we are fighting for all of you. Some of us will not even enjoy these things that we are fighting for. Some of us have life where we are, but we are making a lot of sacrifices, a lot of donation. We are putting our lives at risk. It's not only you people on the ground that are at risk. But let me tell you, we need your cooperation. When we tell you to do something, do it. It is only going to fasten our quest for independence. So when the interim government gives a law, you should respect and obey that law so that we should be able to identify whoever is an enabler of La Republic. So this time, technology has come. We are going to be taking pictures of those people who violate lockdown. All those pictures will be taken and will be analyzed. And those people who have been enabling La Republic in our land, they will be identified. A day will come where you'll be identified. And to those people who are in the diaspora, who are using the opportunity for war to extort money from people, those of you who are using this an opportunity to go and grab land and grab businesses, you are building house and constructing and you are not drafting, we want you to know you stand the risk of forfeiting everything that you are trying to acquire now by not supporting this revolution. We are telling those of you taking advantage of the Ambazonian people and blood to amass wealth for yourself. You should be careful because Ambazonia will come for you. We will judge everybody from 2017 when this struggle started and what you have been doing. So draft with your county, draft with your local government, and let us take ourselves to Buea as soon as possible. God bless you all.
Thank you, Bishop John. Thank you, Barrister Tim. Sir, we look forward to having you back here again one of these days. You have a great evening, sirs. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the day. You heard it from Bishop John. You heard it from Barrister Tim. Sir, you heard it from me also. Let me appeal directly to all of you on Ground Zero listening to the sound of my voice. Again, please, we are not discussing our strategy here on the television. We are informing you something is coming. Get ready. Get ready. We are preparing you so tomorrow you don't say, oh, why is the interim government just taking decisions abruptly? No, we don't want you to be stranded. We don't want you to go out of food or water in your home in the coming days. We are asking you, please get ready. And I like the point Bishop John makes. Please listen to what we tell you. Listen to what we tell you. And just do as we say, not under some compulsion, not because we are trying to dictate to you. No, we are fighting for all of us, every Amazonian. This calls for so much sacrifice from every one of us. Please, let's do that. Thank you for tuning in again. I look forward to coming back here to bring you details on these plans that we have just announced today. God bless you all. Have a great night.
salute to una all. I dey salute to una for sika say una be people wey una dey chop the fire, chop the fire. Time no dey, but only long my brothers and my sisters. Oh, una dey turn up on the truth say una go chop the fire, una chop the fire. Ababa people dem comot in Bamenda, dem chop the fire, say dem go reach Yahoo, dey take the power, take the power. Man no die, in all the road, small you dey catch the monkey. One day be, one day we go sweet, man go laugh for banda. Ababa na nayo, we go win again. Man no fear, man no lie, time don reach, man no run, jangi money na for table. Ababa na nayo. Dr. Lesiga, the best of the best. I really people for Bamenda, Papa. I dey salute you una again. I dey salute you una for sika say una be people wey una dey chop the fire, no chop the soya.
Time no reach, election come, man no vote, he no dey win, so vote, he no dey win, man no win, he no dey mind, soya don come, people don chop, soya don sweet, suffer don finish, na what for we oh. Papa save me oh, Papa save me oh, we be Nigerian people, we no want to wahala. Papa save me oh,
Ijon Frundi.
Papa save me oh, we be Nigerian people, we no want to palava. Papa save me oh,
Asongani. James Bojon, USA, Sylvester Kwende.
Yahweh oh, sorry, Yahweh oh,
Maros
Yahweh oh, sorry.
Canoe don capsize, all man dey for water don cool, all man wan paddle canoe. Time wey water dey katakata inside we be dey, life jacket in dey, man wey fit take am na him go paddle. Siga Asaga, Luke Senze, Iwasiri, Yo Wakai, Ben Muda, Andrew Akonte, Martin Yembe, Yo, Tabali Bernard, Trenko Samuel, Yamagen, Mandam, Awudubaya, Wakolinos, Chop Samuel, Nico Kubi and the rest. Canoe don capsize. Yes, canoe don capsize.
Papa save me oh, Papa save me oh, we be Nigerian people, we no want to wahala. Papa save me oh, Papa save me oh, Papa save me oh, we be Nigerian people, we no want to wahala. Papa